platforms. We could live stream on Facebook if I want. Hello, YouTube. We are now live on YouTube. So now we are both subject to YouTube toss as well as Twitch toss. So I need to be cautious about swearsies. I can't say anything that will damage the reputations of the YouTube corporate overlords, since we are now all owned and living within a society that's made out of corporations. I'm wondering if we want to do a little bit of soldering at the beginning of this. I do need to convert. I need to put the DAC onto this thing, and then I need to convert it to the Teensy 4. I don't need to, but I guess the extra computing power is nice in this module. But I don't know, maybe if we get super bored or if stuff doesn't work out, we can pivot over to that. We're doing synthesizers today. Synthesizers. Oh, you know what? Oh, that would be cool. I just saw this thing while I was saying the word synthesizer. This thing is I think it's millimeter wave antenna. And this is able to detect a heartbeat as well as respiratory information. Oh, cool. The YouTube chat just went live. Nice, nice, nice. So I could put this into a module and have it be the heartbeat module. That would be a really weird one. That'd be a really weird one. It'd be kind of cool. What's up, everybody? How's it going? We're going to work on my synthesizers, and we are going to be using random vinyl that I bought off of Amazon, and it's Slate. I don't know if I should have gotten Slate. I don't know if I want this thing to look like a blackboard, but we'll basically stick that onto these 3D prints that I just did. I have an excess of black 3D print material. Otherwise, I'd be doing it in my sort of engineering gray. I'd probably rather have them in gray, but this is just what I had. But what I did is I took all of these in Fusion and I got rid of the embossed names, and then I flipped them 180 degrees when I printed so that the front face is now the one that's shiny like my bed, because that will stick to the vinyl better. And the vinyl will kind of gloss over all of these like ridges and stuff here, because this is not, it looks kind of neat, but it's not really ideal for like the front panel of a synthesizer. I think labels would actually stick to this just fine, but I think doing the vinyl will give it sort of a look. And also I kind of like the slight purpley undertones that are coming off. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that slight purpleness of this? It's got like a little bit of a purple, maybe not, a little pink maybe. Maybe it's just me. I have a lot of it. I really should have ordered less. I'm only going to need as much as covers this entire front panel. But yeah, let's just see what we come up with this. Let me get the labeler out. A nice, easy Friday, right? We don't have to think too hard, and I can just cut out stuff and put stickers on things, you know, normal guy stuff. This thing will hopefully have enough batteries for the whole thing. But yeah, we'll do another hashtag AutoCAD ad, and I'll redesign the arms so that it's got like 2 screw holes, and then we'll have another piece that comes off of this so I can unify them and make them rigid. The alternative is that we still use skateboard bearings and I do like metal, have like somewhere else machine it maybe. I don't know, but I don't know if we need to do metal. I don't think we do. I think if I just put a lot of plastic on this, it'll make a sort of a semi-rigid. Oh, but basically we need rigidity like in this axis, and the rest of it needs to be nice and loose, because you basically move this into position and then manually lower it and raise it. Yeah, it's also displaying exactly how chaotic the multiple pendulum problems are. And you can model this with matrix algebra. You can use linear algebra to help model the behavior of stuff like this. Ah, no! Oh, we lost it. And then you have things that do, like flip that up and then flip the whole thing up so that they can balance it vertically. I did some work in that back in the day, back in the early 2000s for my control systems education. And I was basically doing other homework, and I had a balance beam that was holding the beam vertically. And then every now and then I would poke it and the thing would flip out and like balance it again. It was a single pendulum though. But what you do is you design the system like this, and then you can literally put a minus sign in front of the gravity parameter, and all of a sudden it's the broom balancing problem where you're balancing a broom And that's essentially rocket science. It's the balancing a broom in your palm is the same control system that keeps rockets moving in the appropriate direction. I was busy being born in the early 2000s. Yeah, I don't know. My niece is graduating soon, and she was born when I was a junior. I don't know. Well, you know what? I don't know how it works at Drexel because it was a 5-year program. So I was in my 2nd year of college. Crazy. It's just this crazy nasty. Look at all these panels. Oh, one more thing. Gotta get one more thing. One more thing. Which is a roller. I've been looking forward to doing this. Hopefully we can make these things look good. I was crazy once. I had fun once. I didn't care for it. Hey, Madam U, how you doing? Did that show up? It didn't show up. Madam U didn't show up. Hold on, Madam U didn't show up. Oh no, there's that. So where's Madam U in the stack up? Is this not... Was the message like 4 years ago? It was ages ago. Oh, sorry. Okay, I missed it then. Let's just check to make sure that Madam U's down here. Yeah, okay, cool. All right, all my tools are working again. I had stuff shut down, and so I didn't know what might like come up wrong. And it turns out the whole setup came up pretty decently easily. I didn't have to check up on the file server. It started all of the Docker instances as we set it to do. I quit that place months ago. What place? Lero. We gotta get those working. I need to look up how to do that. Yeah, these are actually emotes. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I will get them working. Oh, it's Grandma's Boy. Oh, sorry. I don't think I've watched Grandma's Boy. And if I did, it leaked out of my ear. I don't remember any of it. I'm not sure. I must have failed. What is that? Hype Train failed. Oh, I would recommend never watching. Okay. Well, I'll continue to do that then. Just for you. Just for you, I will continue to do so. X-Acto blades. Where are those? I think they're in the drawers over here. I feel like I'm in on a ship. I have so little room. It's like being on a submarine. There's just no room for anything in here because of the sim setup is in the middle of everything. Where did I put those blades? There, way in the back. There you go. New blades. I don't have any more of those hook blades. Where did you get your clothes? Well, feature all the time with the makers of the Matrix. Beautiful. The body can't live without the mind. Mind motivates the soul. LTJ Bookham. Do we need any more of this stuff? Nah. All right, so these are... What do I have? I have red, clear, and then I have... That's black on white. Black on white. Black on white. I thought I had black on clear. Ruh-roh. Well, okay, so we don't have that. Unless this is... Oh, no, this is shrink wrap. So some of these are shrink wrap, and then I guess I ran out of white on clear. Well, but then I have this one sitting here. The clear labels were going to be part of this whole thing, but I guess we'll just do black on white then. Yeah, that's weird. What happened to my... Is that in the machine? Oh, black on clear. Okay, yeah. Hopefully we have enough of this. cat left. You weren't worthy. Yeah, I wish Willow was a little bit more, a little less concerned with noise, because she's the one barking full bore at 7 o'clock in the morning and waking me up. If she would be a little less concerned with people making noise, like me streaming and moving the furniture around a little bit, it would be nice if she would come down here and hang out while I'm streaming. But it's too hectic for her. All of my yelling at the furniture and getting up and sitting down, and she just hates it. So she'll go to the front door while I stream, and so we don't have a co-host. We don't have a corgi co-host here. She used to come down and visit, and she would get treats for it too. I would make her do little tricks for chat. But yeah, she's unfortunately, it's not really shy. I think she just likes to nap in the afternoon. So yeah, stream shy. She doesn't like to be on the internet. How's everybody doing? Oh, the Ben Gizmo beef. I actually found Ben Gizmo yesterday and was able to talk to him for a second, and set the table straight. They got the signals to backlight the little, yeah, I'm glad they're alive. They got the signal in order to alter, like, the backlight. They actually scanned a real BMW F10. And it was like, do you have an F10? I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I have. Please give me those signals. I need them. I need them for me. He sent the little write-up that he did on the signal that the buttons make, but they didn't have info on the backlight until they went to work. So it's going to be a little bit until I hear back, probably again, if Ben Gizmo happens to be around. They'll hopefully have something that'll tell me what the two other signals that the thing gets are, what they are, and how to turn on the backlight, because I think it might be down to two signals. It's probably like key position and then backlight info. It's probably two separate things. One activates it and the other sets it to a level. I'm not sure though, and whether or not it's a counting signal or what. And I don't know if Ben Gizmo knows precisely the amount of fucking work that we put into that. I'm sorry for cursing. YouTube, please, YouTube, no, don't do it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to curse. How much like work we put into that, holy crap. And I tried everything I could think of. There are some things that I could still try, and especially like hooking a microcontroller up to it, like the one line that activates the LEDs, putting that over to a microcontroller so that it would actually like stop and we could like fully brute force it. Did you see my other message on the overloaded power grid? That's what I was asking about. Oh no, let me go back. Yeah, sorry if I missed stuff. You guys feel free to remind me. Oh, you were saying when it gets really hot, your power grid gets overloaded and your power becomes unstable. So you were buying a UPS. No, I was buying new batteries for the old UPS. The old UPS is over 4 years old. I got like this giant trip light thing. And that's this guy down here is this giant battery backup. And you can plug in external batteries to this thing too. But the batteries inside of it went bad. And so I had to pull this thing out and load up new ones from the side. Last stream didn't happen because, first of all, we were getting a lot of power glitches. The power was glitching out. It did like 4 or 5 times yesterday. It clicked out and back. Yeah, they are. Most of them, a good majority of them, they're just sealed lead acid batteries, the types that they use in security systems. So if you know the type of battery that are in these things, after a couple of years, if you do a battery test and it says battery bad, you don't got to throw out the battery backup. You just need to pull out those batteries and put new ones in there. It's usually decently easy. I don't know, kind of irresponsible of Triplight to make a rack mounted device that has batteries that load up from the side. That's a little annoying. But yeah, now that I've done that, we should be good. Everything should be fine with the little power glitches that, 10,000, HVAC pumps inside of people's homes can cause to a power grid. The little glitchy stuff that'll happen won't affect us, hopefully. All right, we can get started. We'll have a shorter intro today. We got a lot of arts and crafts to do. I know this is science and technology, and technically it's tech that we're working on. We're having a little bit less of a brain day today because it's a Friday. It's a Friday. So let's get this video out of here. We're going to use this music more. This is good stuff. This is exactly what I'm looking for, is music. Video game music is like wallpaper, and heyday of my video games were in the early 2000s, and so these jungle mixes from early 2000s video games are perfect. It's perfect. I love it. It's kind of Drummond boss that I like to have. Hi everybody. I'm here. It's no bother. We're doing another stream. I wanted to get to this and all the parts came, and I did a huge session with the 3D printer. Resurrected it after 4 months of being dormant. And I would like to get some of my stuff into the synthesizer so that we can read labels and stuff. So what I did to kind of get the printer up and running again, well, I printed these first. These are the arms for the pick and place, and we've got a couple things to solve with these. We'll work with them again soon. The whole point of these arms is that they feel light and airy, but they don't flex in this dimension. So this remains completely stable. And for the most part, I mean, the parts that we built are pretty good against flexure. So I think what I want to do, and we'll work on this another stream, is to put something in between them and then have that screw on, and that'll resist all of the bending that we'll instigate with the tool head. And the tool head will be as light and airy and free as the rest of the arm, and then when we push down on it, it'll barely be fighting back gravity. So we'll just be able to kind of lower it and raise it, and it'll stay parallel to the desk. That's the important part about this whole setup. So these are pretty successful for what we designed last stream. So I started with these, and then I moved on to what we're working on today. And what we're working on today is I've taken the panels for the synthesizer modules, all these modules over here, and I got rid of the embossing part. I don't have labels on the top of the module anymore. Instead, I've got the modules printed face down so that the roughness of this 3D print, well, so that the 3D print is as smooth as glass, because it literally printed on the glass. Ask glass or grass. Nobody rides for free. Anyway, so these are as smooth as glass of my little coated 3D printer sheet. I guess I could have made them like mirror image smooth, but that doesn't really matter to me. So what we're going to do with that, instead of having it be in sort of dark plastic, is I'm going to put sheets of vinyl on top of it. So we'll paste this thing over with vinyl, stick it on nice and tight. I don't know if I need to use the heat gun with this. Maybe I'm not going to use the heat gun with this, but then the module goes in and then all of the screws go in, but I can use like a sticky labeler in order to basically circumvent the need to have handwriting on it. I don't want to have handwriting on it. It'll look sloppy if I do. So you can get some real dumb finishes on 3D printed plates now if you want to make it flashier. The problem is the detail. I think if I went to a smaller nozzle, I could probably do all the detailed embossing prints on this. It would be an incredible amount of design stuff that I would need to do. But then, yeah, if I got a different slicer that can do ironing and stuff, I could probably make a really interesting finish on the front face. I could probably even make it look like that slightly like rough plastic. That would be a really interesting thing to do. But for now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do vinyl with labels. So. What is a eurorack? It's a European standard, although these standards all come from telecom equipment. So back in the day, you would have all this telecom equipment in these 19-inch racks. And so that's this standard over there, 19-inch racks. But then as stuff got smaller, we've made other standards for racks. And so people were milling about with the designs of their synthesizers going, you know, these synthesizers have a lot of like common components. So why don't we take all of these common components and split them off, give them their own, that was not good for that module, give them their own power supply that is standardized, and then we can have either internal or external plugs that you plug in order to make all of the connections of the synthesizer, which means that you can do all kinds of crazy stuff. And so the standard that they decided upon, which is bonkers in its dimensions, let me tell you, is eurorack. Eurorack is a particular width of the panels, and so you've got stuff that's 1U, like this little panel here, 2U, 5, I think 8 or 10. This one might be 12, it might be 10, I don't know. So you've got your different widths to accommodate your different devices and how big they or small they might be. Julian has moved his rack to like be a little bit more portable and get more punch out of a portable rack. So most of his stuff he wants to keep at one singular rack unit. But that's eurorack, the standard of the voltages, plus minus 12 volts and ground. And then if you want, There's also a 5-volt rail, which is optional, and then a couple internal signal patch rails as you see fit. That's eurorack, part of the standard, and then the other part is sort of these modules. Now you'll see it's not exclusive to eurorack. This size of panel is also used in electronic test equipment. So some electronic test equipment, you see some YouTubers like the really crazy people, the ones that are like doing hard science. You'll see them build their own equipment and they'll put it in something that's this rack size. So that's sort of a thing. It probably does it explain the height of my oscilloscope? Not quite. Not quite. It's like, it's getting there, but it's not quite. There is probably a rack mounting kit for that thing too, but that probably mounts it to a 19-inch rack. Anyway, yeah, so that's sort of the quick and dirty down low of how eurorack came about. The X4046, by the way, this one doesn't really seem to work. So I've got a couple modules that need kind of a session. We need to do a cloud section to get this one working because there's still something wrong with clouds. I need to order knobs. I ran out of my cool little knurled knobs. These are going to look way different though on Slate. I don't know. I'm like, well, we'll do it, and if I hate it, I'll get different vinyl. But I've got a lot of Slate vinyl now, like a lot. I probably should try to build a vinyl cutter. That's actually where Burn the Subs started. Burn the Subs started as my friend's vinyl cutter. Boy, oh boy, if he didn't move to Florida like 5 years ago, he moved over to Florida. I could have gotten him to cut like labels that we would put on stuff. That would be kind of cool. Then I could get the lighter gray and we could have the slate be the color of my markings on everybody. Well, that would have been cool. Anyway, we're not doing that. Okay. Anyway, we're not doing that. What we're doing is we're going to paste over these with the vinyl, cut them out from behind using knives. Oh, and hole punchers. Wait a minute. I got these too. These are indispensable around here. The number of cool uses that I have had for these hole punch tools, I can't stress how awesome these things have been to have. Awesome. And then I guess I've got like a piece of like scrap down here that I can cut on top of. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use them with a hammer. You're supposed to use them with a hammer, but I don't think we'll do that. So let's put that drawer up here. Just surround myself with all of my tools. And then let me get the ideal light back around to where we can see it. Where is it? It's like, I see it. Now, question for chat. Do I need hot air in order to attach the vinyl, or am I just going to rely on its base stickiness? Because I think its base stickiness is enough that it will stick on. God, there's so much stuff. All right, let's get ready by readying a sharp blade. This is why you buy scalpels. Scalpel. I've been putting old blades in the drawer here. I probably shouldn't do that. I need a sharps container. Should stick to the 3D print just fine. The problem with the front end of the PETG is that it was too rough. My slicer doesn't have ironing and stuff. I'm in the Stone Age in terms of 3D printer technology. I've been keeping up with it, but I need to update my Clipper setup over there. Burn the Subs I thought was going to be Clipper, but I'm not sure if I need to move to a different software that's better for vinyl cutters. I have to look around. But so in the 1940s, what they would have is something that mounts to like the back of your mirror, like the back portion of your mirror. That was a blades disposal. But the blades disposal was just an open slot into that section of drywall. Essentially, they'd mount the mirror, there would be a blade disposal, and it would just drop it in between the joists of your house. So people doing renovations nowadays on like Century homes are finding these like rusty blade dumps in bathrooms. It's nuts. Absolutely psychotic behavior. It's such a boomer thing to do too. You know what? Future generations can deal with this. I'm gonna put all of my waste oil in the wall. Let's throw batteries at dolphins. God damn. So anyway, Yeah, I don't have like ironing and stuff on my printer. If I really wanted to, and I do kind of really want to, put a smaller nozzle on my printer. What the heck? Wonky Robot, thank you for subbing for 22 months. Yay, synth stuff. You might want to recalibrate your enthusiasm, because we are working on synthesizers, but we are kind of also doing arts and crafts. Arts and crafts. Heating up the labels might blacken them, since that's the printing method. Oh, yeah, no, heating up the labels, but we're putting vinyl. So the method that I have is derived from Julian's method of relabeling his synths, because some of these modules like to have really bright colors on them, and just really, there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with circuit boards. Like, you can make some really genuinely good looking circuit board art. Circuit board art should be something that more artists do. Programs like Fusion 360 can allow for much more artistic stuff, sort of. But like, what is it called? It's, Osh Park has an After Dark PCB service. And so you can make these really cool looking, artistic, shiny circuit boards that have either matte or it's like a matte black board. Sorry, I don't mean to burp on mic. That's very rude. You can have matte black FR4 with exposed copper and a clear silk screen. So you've got 3 different sort of finishes that you can play with in order to make your circuit boards look really cool. And so like modular synthesizer modules, a combination of this and just silk screening on top of metal panels have made some really bright and attractive artwork on their modules. But Julian doesn't want that, because he'll play shows in dark rooms, and so he's the type that wears all black all the time. I like a little bit more brightness and color in my life, but for him, it's about the music and not the synthesizer peacocking. And so he's been covering all of his modules with matte black vinyl. He needs more RGB in his deck. He's gone through great lengths to tamp down the brightness of the LEDs on some of these modules, because the module makers sometimes don't ascribe to the whole dim musical equipment thing, so that they're not taking over or hurting your eyes. Yeah, designers, when you design, don't do the direct calculation on the LEDs. What you're supposed to do is sit down in a dark room with your device and take a look at how the LEDs look, and then you can color balance all the brightnesses by changing the resistors either up or down, because the current, getting maximum current through your LED is not that important. You need them to balance with each other, because red is going to be like, red and green require like no current. Blue, if you get near that current limit, it's going to light up the whole room, the whole entire room. I once had a blue LED that I installed on my computer back when blue LEDs were like new and awesome. And I was like, yo, I got this blue LED from Radio Shack. It was like $5. I'm going to put that in my computer as the thinking light, so it'll look futuristic. And then I went to bed, and it was like a goddamn light show. It was Pink Floyd The Wall, courtesy of that blue LED that I put in my computer. It's just blue, 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 blue. Yeah. Big resistors in the path. Not big, but I mean, like, a 1K resistor is not unheard of. It's nice when they let you switch them off entirely. Yeah. And then like a piece of electrical tape, and you get a pin and like poke the front, and that'll just let a little tiny bit of light through. Is that like a booger on my, that's a booger on the monitor. Oh, or not. All right. Let's try a little bit of this. Yeah, it was a booger on the monitor. I thought it was a spot on the lens. Yeah, so anyway, that's what Julian does, and so he recommended that I do that. I have tried all kinds of different things for getting labels into the synthesizer, because my printer is generally really good at that top layer. Obviously, some settings could be adjusted to make sure that that looks a little smoother, and I could probably enable ironing and stuff like that, but I haven't done that yet. If I were to do labels on these individual parts, I would have to use a smaller nozzle, because a little bit smaller than this is about the limit. to where everything just starts to look bad. And then there have been arguments about what I should be doing with this stuff, like get UV glue and mix in glow in the dark stuff and then fill the letters with that. And I tried that. It did not look good. What size are you using? This is a 0.4 millimeter nozzle, I believe. Yeah, 0.4. And then I've got a smaller one on deck. It's out by the printer. I've never used it before. So anyway, in the end, what I'm going to end up doing is putting dark vinyl, and I wanted this to be lighter. I saw Slate. It looked lighter on the computer. This is pretty dark. It has a little bit of an iridescence to it, which I like. And so we're going to use Slate vinyl. The color of the actual panels doesn't matter here because that's going to get completely covered over. And then we're going to carefully cut out all this stuff, and then we'll label it. I do detail work for casting positives with a 0.4. With PETG and the settings that I had on my PETG, I could not get the small text to come through. It was very, very rough looking. I've done a lot of tests with this. It's just sort of a byproduct of the temperatures that I run. It's just the byproduct of that. So this is the best way to do it, I assure you. I assure you, your intrepid streamer knows the limitations of their own setup. And actually, with the Slate on there, using the black on white labels might actually look kind of neat because everything will get a little window. Yeah, PETG suffers from boogers quite a bit. We're very boogery around here. Clouds needs repair work, so I don't know if I may want to put Clouds aside and not do this immediately with Clouds. Where's Clouds? These are all the modules that I've built myself from just circuit boards. So that's Clouds. Let's just put that. Oh, it even has a little chip. Wait, there's, I think, a second Clouds. There was another Clouds. Or was there? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, is this marbles? We're going to want to do marbleps. No, this is basics. No, it's not basics. This is sheeps. I got rid of the embossed labels, and now I don't know which one's which. I think I may have thrown out the good one of these. I guess we're just going to live with that little chip of my print bed that made it to there. All right, let's put Clouds up here for now. We'll come back to it. Maybe towards the end of stream, or when we get a couple of these done, we can then jump in and do some of the actual like soldering that I wanted to do, because I've got to do that too. That's going to be today and tomorrow, and I don't know if it's going to be streamed tomorrow. We'll see. I'd have to print them with multicolor on my Bamboo, but that would involve opening Discord. Yeah, I mean, listen, the Discord is where I spend all of my time. All of my time on Discord, but I'd rather not get somebody else to do it because I built all of these from scratch. I did, me. I didn't design them, but I learned a lot about synthesizer design in that time. It was a worthy project because it really taught me how these things go together, because the module creators cannot help but share their schematics as well. So when you're building this kind of stuff, you end up getting quite a bit of good information about, quite a bit of less detail, quite a bit of good information about how these things are designed. It's really cool. Actually, some of the best stuff was mutable instruments. If you're looking at the hardware design of synthesizers, you're thinking about how can I get this to and from a 3-volt microcontroller, and mutable instruments is pretty much has that on lockdown. They're simple enough circuits that you can kind of look up, okay, this is an inverting amplifier, this one isn't, this does that, and from there piece together how all of this stuff works. It really helped get me up to speed. I was like, okay, so that's the deal. That's what I do. Oh, is this the... Oh, why do I even have this? Why bother? Why do you have this? You put something in an impact driver that should not have been in an impact driver. Is that this size? No, it's bigger. Okay. Is this your card? It is. Okay, so that one, which goes into this one, which goes into this one. And then I need the battery for it. This is this thing sent in by Mahalo's. It's got like an accelerometer in it so that when you twist it, it'll twist in that direction. It's really good at removing these screws here because there's about 250 million of these motherfuckers that hold together your modular synthesizer, your typical Eurorack, and you know, the wrist tires. Did that get twisted? Yeah, I don't know what I was doing with it. I don't remember. It was probably something with a car. And I rolled it. I rolled my ankle. All right, let's get the punches out of the way. We will need them, though. I need them to be somewhere around here. So I guess what I need is an open surface. An open... Right there. That's out of reach. Shit. I need to clean up. The thing about having your own shop, like, it's nice, but I don't know. At this point, I kind of would like to share space, because if I shared space, then I would actually clean up after myself. When you're the sole proprietor of the shop, that actually might work pretty well, though I think I probably want the size above that. Stuff is stuck in here. Get out. Yeah, pin tool. These are sharp, so I want to be careful. I don't want to cut a circle in my hand. Get out of there. There we go. Yeah, that's the preferred size. Okay, this is the size of basically all of the holes in the thing. There'll be a couple that are a bit larger, but if we can use this size and I can be careful about it, this should work out pretty nicely. Now, where am I going to put these? Oh my God. There we go. Do you have a little brother to do the cleaning? But Doctor, I'm Pagliani. I am the little brother. Okay, so start at one end, work to the other. Marbleps is kind of going to be a big deal, but I guess we should probably get it done. So let's just, I mean, we're testing out this technique. I'm coming up with new techniques as we speak. So let's clear the deck and get ready to do one of the larger modules that I would like to look really good, because it is a very important utility in my modular setup, and that's marbles. Marbles runs a lot of rhythms and notes. It sort of has a rhythm and note engine to it that aids you in being less musically creative and automating things more. I don't have any other siblings, though. That's the problem. You know, if there's going to be so much time between us putting the modules in and out, I really don't need the auto screwdriver. Let's just get a T-handle. A T-handle's totally fine for this job. I'm realizing now that having that giant screwdriver out is great when you're rearranging your modules, but when you are just taking one out at a time and working on it for a little bit, these will do just fine. And you can spin them. I like spinning. That's a good trick. If I can move this away a little bit, here, give us as much room as I can, because we got to be clean and neat about this. It's the whole purpose of this thing. I would love to design all of the front panels in Fusion and be able to print them so that they're visible. If I had a dual color printer, somebody maybe working at Bamboo who happens across the stream, or maybe if Prusa could bother, because I've sent them all emails, nobody will send me a printer. They send those things out like candy to all the YouTubers, even some of the really small YouTubers that I follow. It's a random looper. It loops random voltages to make melodies, and it does the same with triggers. Yeah, and there's a quantization that it does too, so that it's sending out musical notes, so that they're like in key with each other. I had to look up what quantization was, because they used it in a Has Been Hotel song when they were trying to put science jargon, which is something that, you know, it's a necessary evil in media that they do jargon in order to put scientific sounding things. This is the wrong size, it's too small. To put scientific sounding things into their, you know, like songs and stuff like that. But the thing is, you could tell it was a musician because scientifically none of the shit that he was saying made any sense for what he was doing. And then if you think about it, talking about quantizing a frequency, that's something that musicians would do on a sort of a synthesizer setup, is you have a random voltage level coming in and then you'd quantize it into a bin so that the note is musically related to the other notes that happen. So it doesn't sound awful. So it doesn't sound awful, so it's not out of key. So Marbles does a little bit of that. You can change the key to have different, like, I don't know what they're, I don't know, the musical terminology is not my strong suit, but yeah, you can change that up and have it do different. You have to go into like a special mode in order to make it do that, but yeah. Not a special mode, a settings. There's like a key sequence that you hit or hold down, and then you can choose the different ones. It's actually, this thing is crazy. This thing is nuts. Auto-tune for synths. Kind of, I mean, instead of having, you know, that's kind of what that does. I'm still getting my chops with this synthesizer stuff. Anybody who knows music in chat will immediately call me out for not knowing what the hell I'm talking about, which is fine. Tuning these mutable modules is also kind of a real pain. These use STM32s, so you have to have all that stuff ready to go. I don't know, how much tuning did I do with this one? I think we did get this one tuned. I think this one was a little easier because it's relying more on the microcontroller to do stuff. Oh my God, this is disgusting. At some point I'm gonna have to give these a bath to get rid of all the flux from when I soldered everybody on. Ow, owie, owie, ow. Okay. And the big problem that I have is that the mutable modules that I built, I bought the production PCBs, not, there are some remixes to the mutable instruments modules that make them easier to build because these are using like robot compatible size electronics. And I'm not a robot. So when I was building these, I felt completely inept. Damn it. I was in band, but that's all I got. I sang in choir, so I can read music, and I know how to use my voice. I took some piano lessons, but that was before you were born, because we already established that I was in college before you were born. God damn. But anyway, yeah. So, so my musical talents are a little bit limited. This would be a good application for one of those like ball wrench heads instead of, because I don't need all the torque in my mini wrench right now. I'm just using it to overcome the little bit here so that I don't hurt my poor fingies. Although, to be fair, where did that thing go? Where is it? You and you. How many attachments is it going to take, Father? You want to put an extension on that too? I'm more powerful than you can possibly comprehend. Yeah. Yeah. Just saves my wrist a little bit. Why use torque when you can turn the whole board? Well, because then my fingers get like have to scrape the smooth surface. The smooth surfaces of all of our brains. Why use many word when few word will do? See why this thing is awesome? This is why this thing is great. I do need to put some kind of like a sticker or maybe Captain tape on the front so that it doesn't scratch, because it is metal. Get out of the way. Ah! My nuts! Yeah, look at that. Oh, I missed one. Didn't hold it down long enough. Be gone! Sweet. So yeah, this is marbles. What do I keep clicking the wrong thing, probably because I don't have a lot of space for my arm. Marbles uses very, very small, indeed, electronics. And then in order to get one of the resistor values right, I had to stack 2 resistors on top of each other in this absolutely abysmally small setup. I think I ordered the right resistor to put there, but I think I threw them out last week. So I did throw out a thing of the small, very specific value resistors. It probably shouldn't have done that. Oh well. Oh well, this works, so I'm not going to worry about it. I had a lot of trouble with this part of the circuit right here. This part of the circuit is where the audio comes in and gets converted into 3.3 volt compatible voltages. And then those go along this voltage superhighway all the way up to the STM 32F203. Oh, F405. Okay, so it's a little bit more modern than the F103 and the F102 that we've been running into way too much lately. This was soldered okay, sort of, mostly. It was down here that I had some of the legs of the ICs were not quite properly soldered. And a really good way to get around that is using a pick and place when you build something like this. If I had the pick and place running, we could have actually gone through and populated all this stuff relatively easy. This size is still kind of a pain in the butt, but we could have populated all this stuff and then put it on the hot plate and soldered everybody all at once. And then that would have ensured that if any of these solder connections were not made, the entire component would lift up and do what's called tombstoning. And that's when because basically on the end of the resistor chip, you have this big square resistor chip that looks like a brick. And then on the end of the brick, you have the solder pad that's like sort of like a piece of angle iron that they put on the end. And that has surface on the top, it has surface on the bottom, and of course surface on the side. And so if your solder sticks to this and has a pad, that means that surface tension is pulling on this part and this part and this part. And so it goes whoop, and tombstones. It'll actually stand up on the board. And so you go, that one is not connected properly. Okay, Marbleps. Why did I take all that stuff apart? That just all got in my way. Marbleps does need a bath. There's a lot of flux on the board itself. I'm not set up to deal with that much flux right now. I need to basically use a toothbrush and a bin full of alcohol. Are we using this for the synth? We're using T. Oh yeah, this is for the knobs. So let's keep that over here. For the knobs, this one's for the big guys. Got the label maker. This can go back up here. I need space. All right, so I printed these like that. This one actually is, I think, symmetrical. Yeah, all except for the output LEDs, it's symmetrical. So, get this. Finger oil, I guess I don't really want under the vinyl, so I need a paper towel and I need Windex. Where's Windex? Why is Windex? Nobody asks, how is Windex? Did I even get it? I thought I did. I thought I had it, but then I didn't have it. Okay, so let me just get the bottle. Wait, where'd the other bottle go? Hold on a sec. Bottle of Windex. Huh? It was sitting right here on the table. I know there's one by the 3D printer, but that one stays by the printer. That's specifically for the printer. No, I had a second bottle that I had going. How did I lose it? How did you lose your... Oh, there it is. It's sitting on the floor. Of course it's on the floor, because it's the only open surface in this entire place. Okay. All right. Let's see how we can get this thing working. When I apply the vinyl, should I be heating it up? I know that helps it get around contours on cars, but this isn't a car. There are no contours to be concerned with here, and I'm not wrapping the edges. I just want this front surface to be the thing. I guess we'll determine that in a minute here. Okay, so do this. So I'm not going to need a whole ton of this. Oh my god, this stuff is like thick. I'm using the talon end. It's cut into my leg. Oh, the talon end didn't go fully through. You bastard. Okay, so that's one thing, is that it won't immediately cut if I do very light pressure. Let's get this here and make sure we keep it. This thing, like, my nerves. I don't have any more of these. I would have gotten a sharp one of these. Maybe I should be using the sharper straight blade instead of the... I figured the claw would help me cut through, but... All right, let's put this aside. Vinyl wrap my BMW. Let's take that section then. Where are you? Where's my big fat ruler? What happened to it? I think I used it for something, and I've got this other one that has a little stopper. Or no, maybe this is my big fat ruler, and I just bought the little stopper. I thought I bought a whole ruler that... Okay, well, whatever. Can't worry about things that I can't control. All right, let's cut that there, and I'll just lop off this section. Oh yeah, sharp blade makes all the difference. I walked over a little bit on that, but this wasn't supposed to be the accuracy cut. Now that that's out of the way. This stuff is aggressively curling. That's maybe where the heat gun would help. Scraps right there. Okay, so yeah, the new scalpel blade is pretty crazy. Goodbye, finger oil. Hopefully not hello paper towel artifacts. Well, you guys probably wouldn't be able to see how clean it is, but actually that does not look clean. What's going on there? Wait a sec. Let me put it in heavy light. Yeah, it's like there's like a grease on it. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, that was just little bits of Windex. All right, let's give it a shot, huh? You should make one of those ASMR videos where I just cut paper. You know, stranger things indeed. This is so aggressively curly. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Okay, I just need to get the... Peel, you bastard. I tried sticking this to the front surface of the little blocking plate, and it was absolutely pathetic. It did not stick to the front of this at all. And then I took the same piece and I put it on the back end, and it stuck. It sticks okay. It pretty much just has just enough adhesion to stay on. That's about it. Maybe it's better that I do it this way. Already messed up. I screwed up. I screwed up. Oh man, so that permanently wrinkled. It's okay. It's okay if there's little weird wrinkles. What in the world? That little like Harry Potter scar. You guys can barely see it probably. All right, and then if I push it with my finger, it'll sort of show me where all of the holes, the attachment points are for stuff. And also really get it stuck down on there. Okay. Let's get the edges first. I can't see what I'm doing. Can we use the microscope? Kinda. So that amazing Digital Circus thing came out in theaters, and I am not concerning myself with spoilers, although, you know, posting spoilers in chat will get you banned, because I don't want that behavior. But the thing that people are doing now is, instead of actually posting spoilers, because people desperately want to talk about the finale to this cartoon, and so what they've been doing, and I don't think it's maliciously, maybe they just don't know that they're doing it. I hear Amazing Digital Circus and I'm listening. Maybe people don't really know they're doing it, but what they're doing is they're posting threads that say, no spoilers. And then they'll post like a meme. And the meme is very, 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 very blatantly about a spoiler. And so if you know memes at all, and you click on one of these threads, you pretty much instantly spoil yourself for the content of that finale, which is, you know, man, some of us got 19 days to wait for this fucking thing to come out, right? On YouTube for free. So it is not a good situation. It's fascinating to watch though, because it's a lot of young people who don't have a lot of experience with media, sort of getting their sea legs on that sort of thing. And there's a lot of disappointment for people who are a little bit too invested in a silly little cartoon that asks some big questions. I still got episode 7 to watch yet. Yeah, we'll not play into any of that. I'm not going to talk about content of anything. I'm just talking about the behavior of people. It's just fascinating to watch. Because again, like, you know, I started becoming an influencer, if you really want to use that term. I really hate that term. Somebody who creates media on the internet. You could call them a content creator, although I also kind of dislike that one too. But as soon as I decided to go down that road, I said, you know what? Like, spoilers no longer affect me personally. I'm just not going to bother trying to be unspoiled for something. It's better just to have that attitude sometimes. Well, for me, I mean, you guys don't have to. But yeah, this is like brand new media. Everybody's going to see it in the theater and everybody wants to talk about it and be the first one to post the memes. But like, you're just spoiling content. Like, you may not mean to, but you are. And in some cases they mean to. So I'm just going to give this like a very subtle chamfer on the edges here, using the plastic to kind of guide my knife, so that there's no overlapping edge that you could catch and accidentally unvinyl the module. And an actual chamfering tool would probably be good at this. That one got a little bit far. Got a little bit out of hand. Okay, pretty good edge trim there. How's that gonna look? It looks kind of cool. If it actually came to where you were, you'd head to a cosplay. Damn. Yeah, a lot of the hardcore fans are not happy about their favorite character stuff happening to them, and it's like, dude, like, dude, you got to let the author tell their story. No, not in cinemas in your country. Oh man, Velkin has that same problem. Rob Oz is one of his main moderators. Big fan. Can't watch it. Didn't come to Brazil, I guess. What's that? It's so hard because it keeps coming up in the shorts. Yeah, and so everybody wants to like share media about it. Like, we knew this would happen. We knew this would happen, that all the spoilers would just be completely rampant. And they are. Surprise, surprise. A lot of the hardware is going to cover over any weirdness. So I don't know about the efficacy of my hole punch, whether it's necessary to have super clean holes around these things. Let's just give it a try, I guess. If I just push down on it, I felt a click. Yeah, look at that. It's probably going to be off by a little bit, but let's just see if that worked. If that worked. If that, oh, it didn't go all the way through, and I'm off. Well, that was bound to happen, but still. So I could be a little bit more aggressive pushing this down. This is just a test. We're just getting our sea legs here. Yeah, see, okay. So the hole punch makes a very good mark, but I think it's hard to line up. So if we've got this, and then this, and if I actually punch down on it, I don't think that fully punched down. I think I might have to use a hammer. We are going to have to put a new coating on this and start over, but that's fine. Okay, so yeah, see, it mostly went down there. It didn't go on the other one. It's going to be doing a lot of these. I'm going to be doing a lot of these. So lining it up is very difficult. And that is the size of the hole. If I twist it, twist and rock it all around, well, if I moved it less, if I held down a little harder, that would get us a rough hole. Not a good one, though. All right, so then the other method is to first find your hole, and then we just go around the plastic edge. This may be the way that I have to do it, because then that makes just a perfect circle, and if there's any overrun, I can get it with the spoon drill technique by just tracing the edge like that. And that's going to be a lot faster. So that'll have to be the method of how I do that, is with the very, very sharp scalpel. I'm just going to use the plastic edge of the hole. All right. It is decided. Oh, I need to check these too, these edge ones, the oval ones. I think I can get those pretty... I can't see. That's the problem here. Yeah, spoilers are just going to be everywhere soon. Yeah, that's the method. That's going to be the method. And then the screws will hide over. They'll hide some of the stuff. So hole punching was not the answer. Darn. Another application that these hole punches might have made more fun and cool that they actually did not. Ah, oh, okay, sorry. Just ran into my label maker. All right, yeah, what were you guys saying? My friend avoids using social media when new episodes come out until he watches the episode. You're not going to have a friend for 2 weeks. It's crazy. I was going to say some character pissed me off. The entire fandom, they're just Jack's riders. So many LARPers use them as their favorite character. Interesting. Yeah, well, I mean, the big controversy recently was that Gooseworks, the creator of the entire series, said that he was one of the two main characters. And yeah, that's pretty evident. But people are like, my character needs more screen time. And it's like, well, sorry, that's just not how the episode, or the small series was written out. You didn't make it. So like, you know, make your own cartoon if you feel like you need a character like that one. Hey, what's up, Make Mistakes? What are you up to? I'm making mistakes too. I'm making lots of mistakes. In fact, it's all about the number of mistakes that I'm making and the increase in the number of mistakes that I'm making, that we are making breakthroughs on. Change of mistakes. Last year, the boy went to cosplay as a character from the game in Forsaken. The one with the green, I don't know the game, yeah. You had to print him the crown. See, that's powerful. If you got a dad that makes stuff, it's pretty crazy cool. Sorry, a parent that makes stuff. Doesn't need to be exclusive to dads. Oh, this cut's so nice with the fresh blade. Oh, and this is a cutting mat, by the way, so this is made for that sort of thing. Make mistakes, then go on to make more. Yep. And the bigger and bigger the mistakes are, the smaller and smaller the other mistakes seem. Compounding mistakes. So yeah, we're just going to do the cut-in method, which is going to be labor intensive. Oh man, if only I had a vinyl cutter. What the? Use a super laser that cuts exactly how you want the printer. That's what a vinyl cutter is. I don't have a vinyl cutter. I have vinyl. I don't have a vinyl cutter. And then there would be like, it would be kind of tough to align, but that would have been the best way to do it. It would have been nice and fast. He's my nephew. He doesn't, that's what the boy, I see. Are these 3D printed faceplates? Yes. These are, that's why they're black. Otherwise I would have made them, if they were PCBs, they would be so much nicer. These are PETG. They're 3D printed, which means, I don't know, maybe my synthesizer might have ground issues at some point. They're not PCBs. So if I did PCBs, the artwork would be phenomenal. I would pull out all the stops to make these look good. But no, these are just 3D printed. So they were nice and cheap for me to produce myself. Nice and cheap. And if anything goes wrong, I can print it again. But then we're using sticky vinyl. I bought Slate because I thought it would be more gray. Although you know what? Honestly, I'm liking the Slate. It's actually pretty nice. It's a little bit iridescent, it seems, but it makes a pretty, I mean, it's darker than I like. You know that meme with the two chicks in the car and they're taking a selfie and one of them is all rainbows and the other one is like all gothic black without the smile? That's, if you flip the personalities on those two and the one not smiling would be me. Julian and my preference for coloring our stuff. I like to have all kinds of wonderful colors and lights and stuff. Julian wants it to be black. Everything needs to be just dark and invisible. So I wanted to have a little bit more color to my synthesizer. That's why I printed the panels in gray, because they're nice and visible that way. But without overdoing it, obviously. But yeah, it turns out I'm going to have the same kind of muted muted look to the whole thing. All right, then we do the little shave. I want to make sure to chamfer the edges like that, because my cuts aren't going to be totally accurate to where the plastic is, and I don't want to brush up against one of the panels and have the label come off. So I'm doing just a little bit of a chamfering shave on the edge, which is going to look totally uneven. It's going to look hand done, because it is. Ooh, that took off a little too much plastic. Yeah, basically I'm going to be just poking the pointy end now. That's it. All right. You know what would be really cool is if I had a hole punch that fit exactly into all of these and just hit it from behind. But my hole punches are too tapered to do that. Actually, let me see what I've got. Hold on. Then again, if I do the hole punching on this surface, it's going to be it's going to be a disaster. Hold on, these are well cut in, but if I use them to get a center, maybe that would make things a little faster. Got the largest small one and the smallest large one. Is that even a hole? Oh, I see that's that on the end. What are you? You're the smallest large one that I have. No. Yeah, these are too small. I think the LED size is one of the big tapered ones like this. Yeah, that's the size of that LED. So yeah, that doesn't save me any time. Doesn't save me anything. What about you? I think these are too... Yeah, that doesn't fit in there. Okay, so that's out. This one... Yeah, that doesn't go in. Okay, never mind. We're just going to carve them. Time for an intern. How much do we pay you to make ASMR videos? Just using that knife. Visual ASMR, because that knife isn't making any sound. Oh, yes. Welcome to my ASMR channel. Probably cut from the front. Yeah, that's probably the best idea. All right, well, let's get started. Yeah, that's pretty much how it's got to go down. Out to the edge, then just spoon drill it around. Bada bing. There's your hole. You got a hole. It's the sharper part of the blade anyway, the part that's not usually cutting stuff. Marbles is one of the more comprehensive modules too. We've got a lot of holes. A lot of holes to fill, chat. I mean, that's going to look clean. Look at that. Beauty. That edge is not clean. I'm going to have to get better at that. I need to go get food, but the print is on the first layer. Oh, no. That was me yesterday. Yesterday, I had so many. I printed these modules in pairs. And so what I would do is I would start the print. They are all two-hour prints. Start the print, monitor the first layer, and then take the dog for a walk. And come back from the walk and then check the printer again. And they would be like midway through. But my last print of the day, I didn't want to stick around for that first layer, so I started it and went to bed. And whatever I found in the end was what I got. Is what I got. She remember that. Love is what I got. I often sing like the harmony parts of songs because I get bored with just the melody. Julian's going to be so proud when he sees this, he'll want to put it on the fridge. He'll finally love me. He'll say, "You're my real son," and I'll go, "Thanks, Dad." No. Julian will be very impressed, but he's always impressed with all the stuff that I do. I try to teach him things, but he does not learn. And so everything that we do with electricity here is like magic to him. It's pure magic. And I say, it's not pure magic. You can know the same things I know. It's not that hard. I'm not even that smart. I wonder if an ultrasonic knife would work good for this. No, because then it would cut through this plastic really easily. Ultrasonic knives, it's not like Evangelion where it's like this magic tool that will cut through anything. Ultrasonic knives, you know, you're moving the knife around on a microscopic scale really, really fast and rubbing it around. So it will cut through PETG that's as thick as this stuff as if it's like cold butter, but not as if it's like warm butter or a warm knife through warm butter. You'd know that you're cutting through the plastic, but at the same time, ultrasonic isn't doing anything over just having a sharp blade. This stuff is just vinyl, Chamfering the edges, I don't know how I could do that better. I don't know what I could do in that case if I had a machine that did it, because I can see like some of the unevenness here. Maybe if I set up the belt sander to do like a perfect angle, that would be kind of funny. That belt sander is pretty loud though. It's one of those larger belt sanders. That was one of the first tools that I bought, because when you're building perforated prototyping PCBs, it's a really good way to get the size right and make the edges not rough and horrible. So you have a big powerful belt sander, and you can just go burp, and then it just flattens out that entire edge. I know Uo built an ultrasonic knife. I wanted to try doing that too. I never found a lot of good information about running an ultrasonic thing on your own. And I tried to build a reciprocating, not ultrasonic rather, but out of one of those Philips toothbrush, one of those toothbrushes that was quote unquote ultrasonic. And it turns out it has a motor in it that moves the brush like this in like a D shape. So the knife was complete dog shit. Yeah, they sell ultrasonic knives on Amazon, so they're like $600. I'm not going to buy one, but I think you need like a specific kind of ultrasound emitter to make those work. And there's one that you can buy that was cheap, I think, on Amazon. I think that's what he bought. So I think he did all the legwork on that project that I wanted to do. Being a deburring tool. That's a good one. Well, I've got to plunge in first, but then the deburring tool going around these. Hold on a second. I have several deburring tools. Well, 2. So exactly several. I could change the blade on it, but I think I might just leave the blades. Here's what I got. Should remember that. Love is. It might not work for the smaller holes, but for the larger ones, if I just do that, I'm going to take this. I go shwoobity whoop. Nope, didn't work. It didn't cut one spot. Yeah, no, I think the blade's actually better, because the blade I can actually trace all the way around, and that does just fine. So this might have been a smart move if I can get it on the right surface and just go swoop, 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 swoop. But this is actually working just fine. This is doing a great job. And the edges are pretty neat from the blade, so yeah. Sorry, deburring tools, you're sort of the right thing, but I wonder if using the deburring tool on this edge would even it out. It might. That one's not very sharp. No. End mill with a chamfering bit. That wasn't really biting into the plastic at all. And that, I've got new blades for that. Maybe if I change the blade out, but I think we need to do the work. We just need to do the work, chat. I always, you guys will ever notice, anytime I call out chat as chat, I hesitate. Because I'm like, man, it would be really cringe if I turn into one of those people that goes, hey, chat, is this real? Like all the time. When I refer to you guys as the Royal Collective chat. I need one of them to clean up the skirts on these prints. I mean, this or just a file. You don't need specialized tools for everything. But people do use deburring tools quite a bit in 3D printing. So yeah, maybe that's fine. I mean, these will look cool. It just takes a little bit of love to get them right. Yeah, spinning the knife is the best way. I have somewhere in my tools, I have a like a scribe, the tool head for a vinyl cutter and the cutter itself, which is like this specific kind of knife that twists around. I wonder if that would be a good knife to use in this case. One that just automatically twists around for me. But I mean, this way I can put a little bit of a chamfer on these. A little chamfer. Why is it so dark? Why is it so dark right here? Huh? Chad? Tell me that. What the hell's your problem? Why is it so dark? Hold on, I'll catch up with you guys in just a sec. I need to lock in. I gotta lock in. I'm locking in. He's doing it. He's gaming. One concern that I have is that the bolts that hold this on will press and move the vinyl away from, like, where I'm putting the 4 bolts. There's a very thin section of vinyl, and I'm afraid that the act of bolting it down will cause it to twist off the vinyl. I'm going to do this. I'm going to poke every single location of a hole. That way I can just find my poke. And that'll help me in rounding all of my holes. Yeah, if I built like a sharp thing that would poke in from the back, that would be the perfect way to do it. If I had, because you'd only need like 3 sizes. You need knob, you need headphone plug, and LED. And if I had those 3 sizes, I could just go tap, 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 and be done. Dip, 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 dip. But I want specialized tools for everything. Yeah, and then your specialized tools start to break. Then what? Then what'll you have? I'll still have you, Dad. So, yeah, I didn't catch the end of the ultrasonic knife because I was so jealous of it. You guys may not know this, but I spend way too much of my day on Twitch because I'm doing other stuff. Like if I'm designing a part in CAD, I will have Twitch going on the other monitor as just sort of flood fill of noise. And I'll have my dog asleep at my feet. But what that translates to is I get very annoying for some people. It's probably why some streamers really don't like me. I was actually shocked that Dave raided. Like maybe Dave just doesn't have a lot of Euro people to raid, and my time slot is typically around Euro time, just so that I don't end up wasting my whole day. This is what I do during the day. So anyway, yeah. Wait, why is there no LED on that one? Maybe I forgot to poke it. I forgot to poke it. Doink. Go. The really cool looking one is going to be Crimes and Ornamentation and my module tester, because there will be a screen behind this, but then the little edge that's exposed is going to be black. I think that's going to look really cool. What about a specialized tool for almost everything? Well, I have that problem, is that I have a lot of specialized tools for the stuff that I do, and those tools, I forget how they work. And then they start to break, like the file server. And I need to actually fix some of the permissions on the file server so that I can get files from this computer onto the file server, because I turned the stream computer into a specialized tool. The stream computer is water cooled and it's rack mounted. And so if anything goes wrong with it, I'm up shit's creek. And I don't have anything backed up to the file server. So there's something to be said about specialized stuff. Or like, okay, let's say the Mr. Sark, although he's not going to, but what if he really fell in love with the spinny light that I made? And he said, I want like 10 of those. Here's $4,000. I want you to make 10 of these lights, and I want them all to do the spinny majig when my channel is rated. And I said, oh, okay, well, so the simple thing that you need to do to get one of these running is to install Well, okay, you're going to need a file server, and then you're going to need to install Docker or Dockers on the file. So let's get free NAS, and then you install free NAS, and then once you get that running and you get your drives all formatted and you get that together, and then you start the Docker, and that Docker has to boot up every time, and it's got to open. Okay, so we got to update Python, and then let's get this going. And okay, so now that we got Node-RED, you need to run this specialized OBS plug. What kind of a network? What's your network like? You're going to have to let these ports through, and this is the port that you got to go through in order to get to the thing. So it's like the specialized tool is becoming a little bit too much. If that scenario actually happened and Sark was like, here's a pile of money, I would like to have my whole room do like a Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the day kind of thing. I could make that happen. And I could probably make all of the devices individual robots, or I could make one like Raspberry Pi that you would have to run in conjunction with all of the other Internet of Things that would then activate when something happens in Twitch. I think that might be the better way to do it. Is here's the the DOM, and here are all the subs. And so if anything happens to your connection, you got to go to the DOM and see what's going on. Because, like, how do I get somebody who doesn't really know all this stuff to use this stuff? This is kind of a hot look. This is a good look. I ain't mad at it. That's a hot look. Ooh, that didn't cut so well. Yeah, these are like annoyingly small, the mounting holes. Don't have a lot of wiggle room on them. Go. I think on some of these, what they do is they just have a fixed hole, so you don't have the ovals to deal with. That would have been probably better, because then I don't have to get so thin on the vinyl. Although it does appear to be doing okay so far. And this is where I mess it all up. I have to do it over. We need to spend a day working on my gaming computer. I don't know if that'll be a one-day project or not. What I'm listening to right now behind me is 6 80mm fans spooling up and down as the computer heats up and cools down. So there's this going behind me. Some people in Uo's Discord would tell you to make a Nixos. What the hell is that? I never heard of that. Yeah, the guys who know, people who know how to do things a particular way with computers can be a little bit abrasive to people like myself and Uo who are trying to do something in a fun and exciting way. And, you know, it's not the pet project of that particular computer person. Because sometimes doing it in sort of the slightly wrong way is funny or fun, or it's a little bit educational, or it's, you know, something we're used to doing. What's up, Hair Boffin? The pants are coming off. The breakaway sport pants. That either means you're about to poop or you're ready to do sports. Pooping is kind of a sport. One could consider. The Jedi wouldn't tell you about this sport. Okay, so, I mean, there's a little bit of roughness on the chamfered parts, and I don't know how I'd get around that. If I did, like, an aggressive chamfer down it, that could look really cool. What's up, Okie Dokie? So it's popular to ship production setups that way. Linux distro that lets you configure all packages via the programmable config files. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, because how would I... They would have to update their systems too if I were to, for instance, try to deploy one of my tools on another streamer's setup. I don't really know how that would work. All right, I'm not going to obsess over that, although I kind of want to. In a way, it's like Docker. Are you trying to asymmetrically dock with me? What do you... Docker, but for a whole system. Interesting. See, the thing is, with my tools, all I could do is just put like a Wi-Fi info in there. That's all it would really need, right? So then I would get on their network, excuse me, and then just run the same thing. NixOS or the Nix tool? I see. I don't know about these things. Okay, so that's going to be a pretty good look, huh? Let's see if the LEDs poke through or if they have trouble. Everybody's having a bad time. Even space stations are having a hard time. Damn. New Earth has become a repugnant place. Whoa. Knife. Jeez. Okay, so chat, here's the secret. Always have a repair ream. The repair ream is the secret. It's the secret. Don't let them know you know. But if you know, you know. All I need to do is very lightly take the repair ream and go over some of these things. Although the repair ream is not doing a good job. It had kind of rolled this over here, so we got to be careful about that. Maybe the repair ream is not the good tool to use. What happened here? Why is there a big bubble? No, I kind of fucked it up. I screwed up. Well, typically the repair ream would be the answer, but it's not today. There we go. Let's get that a little, shave it out a little bit. There we go. I guess I just need to go harder on some of these. We go harder. Oh, cool. It's kind of picking up a little bit of the texture behind it. So it's got kind of like a, I don't know if you guys can see this here. Where'd you get the cube vinyl roller? I just found it. It was just a thing. I think I bought that tool though. I think I bought it on Amazon. Look, the underlying texture is coming through a little bit and it gives it kind of a nice surface finish. Cool. Yeah, I just looked up a rubber roller. We used to use these in art class. My art teacher claimed that this was his developed technique of taking rubber tiles and then carving out a pattern and then rolling ink on top of it. Although it's been a known way to make printable art for a while. But I think something about the specific way that he did it was unique to our art room or something like that. I don't know. I don't think he actually did invent it. But it's I've seen a couple people show it off on like TikTok and stuff like that. But that's what these are. These are for like rolling ink and stuff. I guess they do have thumb pads if you want to push down on it. Okay, that's a cool look. Now we put labels on top of it. But the question is, what are the labels going to look like? They're going to look like these labels. Oh, okay, yeah, that's my labeler. Yeah, let's do the big one first. Hopefully this thing has enough battery. Okay, so this is maximum size. I think max might be too big. We want... Go down a size. 22 or 18. Let's try 22. And do... Marbles. That does work, although the label came through a little rough. And this is black on clear. I may want white on clear. I may not have white on clear. And that one came in kind of rough, didn't it? There's like a scratch in it. And my labeler is supposedly out of batteries as well, so that's nice. I did look for glow-in-the-dark labels, and they do have glow-in-the-dark labels, but the glow-in-the-dark labels are too thick for the label printer and don't come out right, according to the comments. So I didn't have time to order them anyway. I mean, this is going to get less and less professional as I go through and mark all of these. It's going to look worse and worse for everyone involved. So if I have all of these at this size, can I get away with that? I know that's crooked. I'm going to leave it crooked. It's going to stay crooked. What do you mean happy birthday? My dog's birthday is in 2 days. She's going to be 4. She's the best dog. She's so cool. Okay, so I can do this, but I think I need brighter labels. I think I need white on black. Do I have, see, this is black on clear. I need white on clear. I don't think I have that. Hold on, let me get this stuff. Your tag says birthday girl. I know. I thought that was a funny tag for me to have on my stream. Because I am neither a birthday or a girl. I have one shrink wrap label. What happened to all my shrink wrap? I thought I had 2 sizes of that. I must have run out. And then black on white is the only other color that I have. So if I do black on white, I mean, we won't run out of labels. But it's going to be harder to read. Well, the black on white is going to be easy to read. Everything will look the same. And the only other color that I have is black on clear. Darn, I should have bought some labels. I could have had red on clear, white on clear. I'll have to get some, but for now, I think what I'm going to do is decide to make this, what is this one? Oh, this is red on clear. So I do have a lot of red on clear. I could make my labels red. Let's see what that looks like. Let's just do a sample of it. Is this 1/2 inch? 1/2 inch. We'll just see how clear that is. That's even harder to see. I don't like that at all. I think we're going to have clear or white labels everywhere. So I'll keep the big label for the module, but it's going to be like, it's a shame it can't be a little bit more like diegetic. Like if I could have like gold, I have gold marker. I could handwrite with gold marker, but then my handwriting would be awful. So, and the first thing that rubs up against it's going to get gold marker on them. So, yeah, we're just going to have to, we'll just do white labels on it. Boring, boring, boring. It's a shame the red isn't a little bit more prominent. Now what, can I plug this thing in so I don't have to be at the mercy of like 70 AA batteries on this label maker? What do you take here? 9 volt. 2 amp? Do I have 9 volts? Hold on. Didn't we find a 9 volt adapter? I think we did. Hold on, let's look into my adapters here. I have the bin out, so I might as well look for it right now. It'd be nice if I could have a thing associated with the label maker. Let's not scratch the module. All right, that didn't work. Put that away. Always so experimental around here. All right, so we're looking for 9 volts. Shouldn't go to the shop when hungry. How many times have we said that? Every time, every single time. That 19 volt. Why would you take 9 volts? Couldn't it give me like a voltage range? BlackBerry, that's not going to be. 5 volts. 5 volts would have been a better voltage for you to take. What the heck is this thing? 15. Oh god, it's huge though. Netgear 12 volt. 12 volts would have been a perfectly normal voltage to take. You had to take 9. 15? That's the 5 volt one. Why am I looking at that again? 15. I have a lot of 15 volt supplies, it seems. 12. I thought I had a 9 sitting down in here. I don't know what these are. Oh, these are casters. More casters in this bin. Rigol. Oh, this is USB-C. That's why I looked at that one. It's 12. All right, so I don't have a 9 volt. I probably got rid of it because I'm like, what the hell takes 9 volts? And I threw it out. I could have sworn that I had a 9 volt DC charger in here. I could have sweared. 10. I'm not gonna 1 volt. Come on, one extra volt. What's 1 extra volt? Come on, what's 1 extra volt? What's 1 volt between friends? You know. Just make sure everything else is correct. It's not. It doesn't fit at all. Never mind. Get out of here. Stupid thing. This thing takes like 16 batteries though. All right, we'll just continue. Okay, so did I change this? No, this is still right on clear. All right, black on. Oh, that's shrink wrap. What's it doing? I'm running out of this one, but might as well use it up. ½ inch. Okay. I'll cut it back out. All right, so I think we got our technique. It's just about as simple as it gets. We do all the labels. They're all going to look like this for now. At least things will be nice and neat. And then we use the knife in order to core out all the holes. So we get the module down here, clean it off, put the vinyl on top, cut out the box for it, roll to really stick it on, and then push down on it with fingers in order to, well, I don't have to do that. What I can do is flip it and then poke the center points of all the holes with the knife. And then I find those points and just trace it with the knife. And that's how we do. And then we come in with a label maker and I make these neat little readable labels. And that's how we do. I don't have any other tools to help me keep this stable and even. Maybe I could use tweezers to hold this, but we'll just dead reckon a lot of this stuff. So it's going to look weird. It could look really, really cool if I had better labels, but I don't have better labels, so we're just going to live with this. I mean, it would have been even cooler if I'd take all the negative space and use a vinyl cutter to cut out like letters, and then I could print the panel in white and it would show. Anyway, so Marbleps. What does marbles do? Marble do all kinds of things. But we need to look up what the front panel looks like so I can get all the labels right. Notable instruments. Marbles. Gotta put stuff back in the drawer. Give me a nice big picture of it. I said, you bastards. It's such a small picture. Maybe I did want to be there. Maybe I did, because I can open up the manual, which is in PDF. Well, they love splitting it, don't they? There's a lot of labeling here. Steps quantizer. Ah. All right. Oh my God. How am I going to get all that stuff? I've just been in this place before. All right, smallest size. So we go down to 12, 8, 6. 6 might be too small. I think I need to go to 8. 8-point font. So I need a couple labels out of this thing. So T, hit the space a couple times. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. Deja vu. Rate. Let's go to the next line. Bias. Jitter. Clock. Next line. Maximum number of lines. Oh, I have to go to 6 in order to make it. Let's see how big these are. I think that's as small as I should get. Yeah. So let's cut out my clock. Okay, micro. All right, Kenish. Oh, there's my knife. Kenish. What the fuck was that? Something just fell. It scared me. Tired of streaming to 0? I'm streaming to 55 people here, bud. Automod held a message. Oh, Automod's gotten smarter. Check this out. Tired of streaming to 0? Let's change that. Only stream for blah 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 dot ru. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and give you guys all of my deets. Bonk. Friggin' bastards. They must go on like a basis, because like if you have nobody on your channel, you don't get those bots. So like at 55, which is a good number of people, man. I'm happy to have you all here. At 55, I guess I must have triggered a threshold. And it's always .ru, isn't it? The destabilization of Western civilization. The bounding box for my T is going to look a little weird. I've just been in this place before. Deja vu. This is like a brand spanking new super sharp blade. You guys wonder why I'm building a pick and place. This is why. You can see how I've gotten a little shaky here. I didn't cut far enough on that bottom part. All right, let me get the tweezers because I don't want to get finger oil all over the label and have it move around on me. T probably needs to be a little larger. Why did that not grip? Because my grippers aren't gripping. Hold on. My grippies! I have made a quesadilla. Fear me! You should eat bother. Please don't eat me. I'm not, I don't do vor. I'm not going to eat. And also, does it look like I need to eat? I'm shaped like a bean, like a water balloon. I do not need to eat. There it is. Okay. Still getting to know all of my, what do you call it? All the buttons on the Stream Deck so that I can properly flip from thing to thing. All right, so while I've been yelling at you guys, I've been bending, I didn't bend it enough. I'm trying to bend the ends of these things. Hold on, let's try to straighten them out a little bit. I use these tweezers a lot, and so they end up bending a little bit. They kind of bend out, so every now and then I need to come in and just kind of hit them with one of these, where you go back and forth a little bit. Eventually the tips are going to snap off, but this should be pretty parallel now. Basically what I did is put it in the vise, which is just a flat surface, and then bend it one direction and then the other one and then back. Just a little bit. It's a stainless steel tweezers, and so there's a little bit of springiness in them, but you see that? Now they're not quite where I'd like them to be, but this might pick up the T. It didn't. It just put dirt on the T. It didn't pick it up. There we go. All right, so my T goes over here. Okay, so now it's stuck to my tweezers. Now it's, I don't know where it is. I lost it. It's gone. It's vanished. Wait a minute. What the heck? Where is it? Oh, it's on my leg. Fan must have got it. The T might need to be larger. T is for, oh, it's for the button, so it's for this. And there's no fastener that goes around the button. I need to give a little bit of space if there's going to be like a bolt and stuff on it, but there, T. Yeah, that needs to be larger. It's fine, it's fine. I've just been in this place before. Deja vu. Deja vu. Usually I do these with the mini scissors, but this blade is so sharp, it's doing a really good job. Did I already do that one? I think I did. Ugh. Well, whatever, that's gonna look weird. Make you look bad. With all the Bond stuff, because people have been playing that new Bond game, I had to revisit the propeller heads James Bond theme. It's one of the good ones. A lot of fun song. See, I don't want to cut all the way through it, but I think I'm unintentionally cutting all the way through it because this blade is too sharp. It's so sharp that it's cutting through the whole thing, and so when I come in here and I try to get the tweezers on, it's just going to pop off. Okay, that one didn't. Good. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. So deja vu goes down here below a knob, but it's not a big knob because it's one of my little jammies. So what I really could use for this type of stuff is one of those things that they cut out scrapbook stuff with, so that you have like rounded edges on these, because they would look really good with like a little rounded edge. That would look super professional, but too bad we can't have super professional stuff here. The real way to do it, and the way that I would love, the look that I would love to go for with this, would be carbon fiber panels, and you'd obviously have to use a CNC to cut them out. So you'd cut out CNC carbon fiber panels, and then I would have to get a UV ink tank printer. So you get an ink tank printer, and you modify the bed so that it moves linearly. With a linearly moving bed, you can put that little piece of carbon fiber onto the bed and have fully color printed labels that are actually ultraviolet glue. Where's the seam? It's out here somewhere. I don't know where it is. Let's try to find it over here. So I wanted to do that, and I bought a Brother printer off of eBay, and it turns out the Brother printer was completely screwed up. It was so screwed up that it wasn't feeding paper properly, which is good for us, but I couldn't really get the printer to like work at all as our basis for putting together this linear vinyl printer. That's really what I wanted to do. It's what I wanted to have as the you know, the look of my printy thingy. So rate is sort of on this knob, but it's also sort of below the knob. So let's put it right there. If these labels are going to be crooked, they're going to be uneven. Just get over it, everybody. How long until you build a die sub printer? I know, that would be cool. Actually, that is way too crooked. Hold on, I'm going to fix that. Do 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 do. Okay, next. I'm not gonna like stress over it. If I really wanted to, I could get the get this thing out. Do like, oh yes. I have a tech question, but it's very niche. Yeah, go ahead and ask it. Chat's nice and quiet. I'll see if I can help you. I'll try not to berate you because I've got an entire splash screen dedicated to computer questions, which I just am not. I am not in any shape to answer computer questions. Right. It's still crooked. I'm not going to fix it. Put this thing away. I'm not going to fix it. Screw you. Let's get bias. My answer might be a little bit biased. Ah! Ooh, that's going to be too tight to the letters. Oh well. We'll make bias a really tight one, see how that looks. Now, why did I immediately... As soon as I started cutting, my fingers just like went right to the side. I'm looking for an air purifier. How do I know what won't break after 2+ years? By the price. That's all I got on that one. It's so hard to tell with products nowadays that I don't really have a good answer for you. Bias is below... Yeah, this knob here. Bias. Bias! Price and name brand. Man, look, I don't know. I don't really run that many air purifiers. I've got a Dyson. Oh wait, Bias is, well, it's between these two. I had a lot more room to create this label. I guess it's okay there, that's fine. And then below this one, we need to label clock, because that's this one, is clock. And jitter would be the knob next to it. Essentially what we're doing is we're supplementing our own memory. I would love for these to be different sizes. I may have to do that at some point, is come back and label them like big and small so that they have kind of meaning. You know, the big label is for a knob and the little label's for like a plug. But I don't think I'm going to go to that length today to do that. I would rather get everybody labeled first and then come back with a finishing pass. Ah, damn it. This is annoying. This is annoying. So now what I really should do is get a piece of wax paper. Well, no, I already have a sheet of wax paper. Get a piece of glass or something and mount all of these to the glass, like peel the label, mount it to the glass, and then cut it out. And then, but I think the act of mounting it to the glass might weaken the label, although we're not going for full strength here either, so maybe that would be a way to do it. Jitter, jitter. Wait, where does shitter go? Oh yeah, over here. Jitter. Actually, jitter and rate have little dotted lines that run to this and this. don't know how I'm going to do the lines. Maybe I can cut them out of the white label. Which Dyson do I have? I have a used, God, if I know. I hate Dyson. I really dislike that company a lot because it's all snake oil with Dyson. But they make a really good motor. The motor's pretty nice. So I have an older model of one of those, what are they, like Airblade fans or whatever the hell they are. It's not really so much an air purifier, although it is kind of a little bit of a filter. I run it for noise in the bedroom and to keep a breeze on me. I apparently always need to have a breeze on me. But they recently made it so that you had to log into the app to control the fan. I bought this from likely like a hair salon or something that bought a bunch of Dyson fans and went, why are we broke? And then so they sold the fans for real cheap because Dyson fans are stupid expensive. So used, I found one for a decent price. And it's worked pretty well over the years. It's just I need to clean the filter out in it. It's probably all dog hair at this point. I would not necessarily recommend it. I bought it because I thought that the frequency that the fan had would be different and so not as evident. Wait. Oh. Wait, so then... Oh, I put bias in the wrong spot. Bias should be... No, clock goes there. Okay. Whoops. Clock goes here. We got to watch where we put our clock, okay? We could get in a lot of trouble. Yeah, see, this is the unevenness of my chamfering. It's not great. Then I should not buy a Dyson. Don't take consumer advice from an electronics streamer. Durability isn't exactly a tech question either. Yeah. I'm not a source of like good advice for stuff, man. I hate to break it, but that's just how it is with this stuff. Yeah, like these have a label that sort of runs an arrow down to that. So I don't know what I can do with that information. If I need to cut out like a piece of like a discarded part of the label and make like a line that goes down to that, or if I just come in with a paint marker and just go bloop. But that might look terrible because as I plug stuff in, I'm going to like rub up against it. And these labels are pretty good. I get good mileage out of these things. So like if I wanted to make an arrow that would go all the way up to rate from here to, well, that's a trip. I don't know if I'd be able to do that. Nah, okay. So we're not going to have arrows on it. At least I'll be able to somewhat identify what things are. Like these do not need T1, T2, T3. They might get it though. I might actually put a little thing in there. I don't think I can do I can't do sub labels, so I'll have to do T1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, so let's make some other labels here. Oh, and then I need another deja vu. I need it down here. All right, let's do that. Whoa, mouse. Why were you clicking on stuff? Like run into stuff when I'm maneuvering all these various things around. All right. T1. Let's do one space between it. T2. T3. Y, and then deja vu again. I've just been in this place before. Do I want pluses and minuses or no? Because they're different symbols. Yeah, there's like 2, 4, 6, 8. This thing is awesome. You can get a better one nowadays that probably has all the symbols that this one doesn't. You can get some that work with your phone too if you want to use your full keyboard on it. There's some things that I can't do with this label, but what I did with this label is label all of my little electronics bins and stuff. So when I rub over the labels, they don't go away. For a while I would do them in Sharpie, but Sharpie on plastic eventually gets rubbed away. So yeah, like some of these labels are more like meaning derived, like, yeah, I can't do anything like that And then divided by 4 times 1 times 4. Can't do that. The little door. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. That's too many labels. So we need big X. We need spread. We all need spread. Length. And I think that's as much as I have on the other side. Oops. Okay. Dyson's like Apple. You pay 50% more for the brand name, and the product is just about as good as any other brand doing the same thing. Yep. Except their vacuums. A Henry is half the price. We can't get Henrys here. I tried. They're like $400 because they're imported. I tried to get a Henry. No, it doesn't. It doesn't suck. It can't. I don't have the vacuum. That's the problem in the first place. Would it be easier for me just to use the scissors? I think it would. Just to block them out. That makes peeling off the thing that much more annoying. Unless I have like double-sided tape I can put down. Yeah, the whole thing with Dyson is it's a lot of fancy language, and they put a British guy as the leader to try to make you think that it's such a technological company. But a lot of what they do is just window dressing and technology that's not all that shocking. What they do though, what Dyson does do is they make a really good motor. They basically took a turbo impeller and used that for air with a 3-phase motor and a fancy 3-phase motor controller that does 3-phase AC control, which is complicated and it's very fancy. They call it a digital motor, and they say it emits less carbon than a regular motor. But what they're talking about is carbon brushes that rub up against the spindle of the motor. And so those carbon brushes get rubbed against, and they literally emit carbon powder. And that's the carbon they're talking about. It is such snake oil that I can just tell you, and you go, what? Wait, what? Are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. That's all it is. I wonder if having double-sided tape on the thing, on the surface here would help me kind of cut around. Maybe not. Maybe just using the scope so I can get up nice and close with you guys. That I cut too wide. It's all right. This method is a lot of work. It's going to take a while. Do I need a new method? Yeah. Am I going to use a new method? No. I'm going to keep doing it this way. That was a weird result. Why did you do that? Wait, let me get under it. Oh, Dat Deets! How's it going, Dat Deets? 80 months of quality content, you say as I try to pick up a sticker. Oh my God. Okay, careful. X goes over here. And it goes... Where does it go? It goes... Hold on. Well, it goes opposite of T. Yeah, next to the button. So, yeah, it goes out here. It goes out here. That's upside down, I think. How you been, Dat Beats? Thank you for subbing. Does that look right? Does the small part of the X go up, or that's kind of I don't know. It definitely looks like it's leaning back now. It's fine, whatever. It's an X. It's there. Okay, and then spread goes there. So where's my labels? They're on my pinky. They're stuck to my pinky. Bread. This is our Friday task. We're doing this because it is easy, not because it is hard, but because we don't want to use our brains today. That's the content that I'm bringing to Twitch. The fast-paced, blink and you'll miss it content. But I think this synthesizer is going to look really cool. And now we have a method for printing these front panels that gives it a particular je ne sais quoi. Spread'em is here. And you know what? I want it to have a little bit of a DIY kind of look to it, so this sort of achieves that. Okay, you know what? That's stuck on so well that I am not going to disturb it. I'm going to let it have, you know what? You win. You win, little guy. Good work. One of the good things about Henry-O-Matic is that they still manufacture everything in-house in the UK. That's cool. I mean, I would love to have a Henry just because it's the whimsical British vacuum cleaner and it looks funny because he's sucking it in through his nose. And it would be sort of a unique, you know, because you make all of your tools into characters when you stream. It's Pee-wee's Playhouse adjacent. Kind of in the same manner that, what's his face? Papa Meat Canyon does sort of a horror Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's sort of what whimsy that I like to have generally in my project stuff. Let's see, length is length really? Yeah, length is just right above the button, which is in the middle. There's deja vu. I've just been in this place before, and then length. You know, I wish I could trim these after the fact, trim them like just right there, but I can't. That'll cause too much chaos. They do a kids version too. It's tiny, but it actually works. I actually need to get some, not the huge googly eyes, but I need to get some larger googly eyes for my Arm & Hammer. So if you're looking for, they probably don't produce this anymore because I bought this like I bought this in like 2009. This is an Arm & Hammer 2 horsepower car vacuum, and I use this to clean off the mill. I used to use this for festivals. I would pack my tent in a vacuum bag and then use this to reduce it down, and then I would pack stuff inside of the vacuum body in my camping gear. Glamping gear is really. But then this was awesome because I was able to pack in a lot of stuff, but I would have it vacuum packed, so I could really minimize the amount of containers that I would take. However, now that this is in the shop, this is a great vacuum. This has a ton of suction and it's able to remove chips from my stuff. It's great. I've had nothing but good praise for that, lasting over 10 years as my primary shop vac. Obviously, I could use it a little bit more. I'm literally drowning in dog hair, but it's what it's. I've just been in this place before. Deja vu. I've just been in this. Oh, I put a big scratch on it. Fuck. All right, that's fine. We'll keep it. We'll keep it. Darn. Well, okay. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't know how to repair scratches on vinyl. I don't think you can. Maybe heat. We're just doing this. Yeah, that faded it out pretty well. There you go. That's fine. It's fine. I'm not going to get bent out of shape about it. This is always going to look a little bit Bush League. T1, T2, and T3. These are for these guys down here. It's not as important that I label these, but I guess T and Y and X will help sort of... Actually, I don't really need to do it. I could label these T. Okay, that's not where I wanted to grab it. Where did that go? It's gone. Where did it? What? Wait. What? I don't see it anywhere. What? I am not reprinting this. Where did T1 go? It like shot out of the tweezers in that direction. It's just gone. What the fuck? What the hell? Whoa, wait a minute. Ah! Jeez. I did that with a bolt today. It pinged out of my hand and I have no idea where it is. That's the reason you always get more than you need. Well, you know, if you're smart, but I'm not. Yeah, with especially with surface mount stuff, you always order a couple extra. I see a square here. This is probably T1. Yeah, it is. Okay, we got T1. We got it back. Nope, not the flattest way to put that down. That's just how the tweezers picked them up. I hit it sideways with the tweezers. Okay, T1. 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 Yeah, the clear with white would have been a good label to use, because then you'd still see the clear surround though. Oh yeah, these are already cut. I can come in from here. T2. That's all discombobulated, isn't it? Good enough. T3. Okay, and then why? Indeed, we ask ourselves this question, why? Why is just like random noise. Yeah, the mutable instruments tools are really cool. And I've used some of their design circuits, their methods of getting 3 volts for a microcontroller using a negative 10 volt bias. I don't know where they got these techniques from, but I am using them in my setup in circuits that I've designed, and they're good. They really work well. Can't see what I'm doing. See, a vinyl cutter would be really cool to have for this. I would need to make like indexes or something, or use specific pieces as index to get it to work properly. But also you could give an outer radius to all of these holes instead of having them directly, you know, on top of the thing. You could give it a little bit of room around so that it wouldn't interfere with the fitment of all your stuff. All right, 1, 2, 3, Y. Now we need deja vu again. Deja vu all over again. Ha 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 ha. Get it? Ha 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 ha. Deja vu goes in the top center. So above Y is deja vu, because those are related to the things above them, and then this one is its own thing. I could scratch the vinyl to make those lines that I need to make. Yeah, it's not gonna get better than that. That's it. Some of these are little bits of plastic, and I think it's just stuff that's on the table. Careful not to put another scratch. See that scratch? It's my fault. I did that. Okay, next. Okay, we've got to go through, make more labels. So I need, clear that. Where's yes? Oh, I hit OK. Okay, steps. X1, X2, X3. Bias. Clock. And I think that's everybody. Yeah, it looks like it. So print that. Almost there. Then we get to put the whole front panel back together. Of course, I can also make the arrows that I'm going to need to, because the association of all the different tools together is going to be helpful. Because like you look at this and you're like, actually the T and X we're going to reprint at a larger font. I'm taking those off. I'm taking you off the board, T and X. You need to be in a much larger font. So let's do that. So not 22, not the full size. And then let's see, size. $18. Actually, should they be in the full size? They should be in the full size. But we were one size below, so we're 32. So T space X print. That is what was I why? That's way too big. This isn't the TX module. No. Smaller. 22, let's 18 is probably the size that I wanted. That's a little bit more. That's 18, huh? Tweezers for this. Things get so small. So this is the extra time that Bother spends to engineer things. Oh, we forgot to observe which was the tall part of the... Oh, well, this X is a little bit more symmetrical, I think. Yeah, because this module has two sides. It has timing and then whatever the hell X means. But to follow through with a really, really cool look, I mean, the only way I could have done that is by like silk screening on top of the vinyl. Printing somehow. The clear labels would have been sort of their own thing. And you still see the border of the label, so I'm just going to live with it like this, with the bright white labels and the dark sheet. I think it'll look good. I think it'll look good. But man, could we have made this look cool with slightly different stuff. All right, and then we got to cut these out. Turn this off. Length. Okay. Do a little bit of this. Oh, I'm pressing down a little too hard. I need to very lightly go over it because I don't want to cut through the backing. These can be a little tighter to the text. It's a little too tight. Ooh. Asthma, sticker cutting. What this thing just moved? Weird. Twitch trying to keep my attention or something. There we go. No, 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 no. Don't shoot. I could have just labeled all three of these X. I mean, it's pretty clear that there's three, but whatever. X1. To me, my X labels. X2. This thing is going to get splashed with alcohol and all these labels are going to fall off and I'll just be buried under a bunch of labels as a famous electronic musician. I'm going to get so popular. I'm going to have that song that that guy made on a PlayStation that gets played at grocery stores and shit. Okay, and then clock goes on that one. Yeah, if I had like a C-shaped punch that could do the radiusing, or if I was just better with the knife. So these would be a little less square. That would have a cool look. Because that's what I do with the labels when I 3D print them. And we were able to get relatively small fonts. The only thing is, like, I don't want the lettering to like fall out of my labels. But I was thinking, you know, one of the ways that I could do it would be to put all the text on a layer, like a color change layer, like I do with all that other stuff. So black would be the last thing that prints, but then above that, or below that, I would have white and, you know, the other colors of things. Clock, let's get bias. Almost done. I'm getting used to this. It's becoming faster and faster as we go. But we tested out a bunch of techniques and we kind of came up with the best ones for me to employ on this specific project for now, to be improved later. And I'm sure, you know, if I got a different printer, I could obviously do color changes much better. If I was sent to Bamboo. If Bamboo got their stuff together and actually sent me one of them printers that everybody gets, then I could probably do a much better job on these. It would look much neater. All right, and next is steps. Step bro. My label. For the label. Having been a singer means that I unfortunately memorize songs way too well. And so I end up with multiple parts of songs stuck in my head. Let's try from over here. I can just get under it right there. Yeah, there we go. No, 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 no. Damn it. All right, let's try this side then. We have to get under this side. What the? I am not Steps. Do not label me. Steps is this knob here. Luckily, my knobs don't rub. And then we need like little lines that'll go between these things. Well, length goes down there, but what's going on, Dutch Mania? Well, actually, I think I can do... Can I do slash on this? Yeah, I can. So hold on, wait a sec. Let's try this. I'm going to go back down to 8-point font. So 18, size button, 12, 8. So it's divided by 4, next line, X1. That X is a little bit big. Let's hit undo caps, go X. Yeah, there we go, lowercase x1. Oh, number of lines. Okay, I can get 3 lines if I go down to 6. So we're going to go size 6 point. And then that's divided by 4, lowercase x1, and then the third line, x4. Oh, I should have done both of them in one thing. That is a huge waste of label. We can't do that again. Well, I'm going to have to do it one more time. Do you label the label machine? Never. Actually, getting those to line up wouldn't have been good, but this is a huge waste of my stickers. I think chat made me do that. I'm gonna have to make the other label too. Both of these LED readouts have 3 settings to them. I did put a label printer label onto my label printer, and I machined a CNC machine plaque for the CNC machine. Oh, that's good. I like that second one. I gotta remember that. I need to make a CNC machine. I have not had that capability. And I assume that it's going to revolutionize the way that I work on stuff. Probably, anyway. Ooh, that's not working out. I'm damaging the label. Yeah, that one is big. I bought it a long time ago, and I actually have 2 of them. They're awesome because before I was doing Sharpie, and I even tried to tape over the Sharpie to try to preserve it, because eventually your finger oils will like rub those things off, and those handwritten labels just don't last. So I decided to get a label maker, and it did an amazing job keeping all of my stuff organized. So these labels persist. That's a little too, I need it to be, it's too close because that's a button. This is a button. So I think we'll just do it like that. Now we know those. And then now I need the voltage levels is the next one. This is going to be another massive waste. +2. Plus sign is something that I have to reach with the symbols because this thing sucks. I would put, oh wait, I need to get my light over here. That's why it's so dark. Why is it so dark? This over here. Oh, my mic cable's under the bin. I tried to find a power supply for this label maker, but it takes like 9 volts, which is another reason why not to buy this one. There are other thermal label makers that you can get. But it is Dymo, which I think turned into Brother. This one's very old. Don't buy this one. Sorry, I'm hiccuping. I had a big sandwich for lunch. I get plenty of insulin. Okay, so this one is +2, +5, and then we have a plus minus, which I don't know if I can make that symbol. So let's see. Symbol. Remove, add, settings, custom. No. What does it even do? Okay. Code 39. Rotate a line. Alt. Favorites, which I probably should program. Oh, library. Okay. Terms, symbols, arrows and brackets. I should probably look into. Pro AV security, numbers. 1/2, 1/4, blah, blah, blah. Here's plus. Okay. +5. Oh, no. Starts at +2. Next line. Now I got to do that again. Library, symbols, numbers, plus. +5, +2, then +5. Next line. Library, symbols, numbers. Do we have plus minus? We don't have plus minus. Slash, dot, does not equal. Oh, taking a message. Somebody keeps like leaving messages on my phone, or they're calling, but they're not leaving a message. Currency. I don't think in currency we'd fit now. Electrical has like ohms and stuff. It's pretty cool. I have that label maker for wires. When you don't use it, the menus are kind of deep. I use a simpler one for normal shit. Yeah, this is like the best thing you can do with these thermal labelers. And it's, well, I guess it did work with the shrink wrap. It didn't like go off on the shrink wrap, but you can get labels that are shrink wrap, which is really cool. Oddly enough, no plus minus. And so if you're wiring up like a cabinet with a bunch of connections on it, you can do your end-to-end labels so that everything is marked properly and you don't get lost. Arrows and brackets. I mean, the arrows might be useful. Hazards and warnings are just complete confusion. The newer ones are much better. They're much better. Pro AV security, it's a computer, there's a phone. Stupid. I can't believe numbers doesn't have plus minus. I guess if I just put plus, like plus and then minus, it'll just make it, things won't align properly. You know? P-Touch 2000. I'm not looking to buy another one right now. I can't change that to be underlined, can I? Let's see. Style, alt styles, bold, italic, underline. So if well, let's just make sure I'm still in that style. Style, underline. Okay, so if I do library, symbol, math, or rather numbers, plus, I think that might underline the whole thing. Yeah, that's going to underline it's not going to underline it. Damn. So I don't have a way to make plus minus, but I'll just do like 5. I don't think there's any other symbols that'll really... Let's just look at the library again. Here. What are terms? Audio, video, security, my terms. What the hell? Left front, side speakers, optical, phono. Why would this be in here? What is, why is this? This does not save me any time. Zone. Sorry. Yeah, it's like, these aren't submenus. This is literally what it wants to print. Backdoor, camera, carbon monoxide, Cell, contact, controller, door. I apologize if I'm activating anybody's Manchurian candidates out there. Gate, glass door, ground, heat detector. Kill the president. Water cool. Oh, weather detector. Never mind. Escape. Why are these in here? Do I have any terms? Empty, 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 empty. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. What I'm looking for is a symbol that looks like a plus and a minus sign on top of each other. This is all I get for arrows and brackets. Hazard warnings are just confusing. Pro AV security is comedy. This is just comedy. Numbers, numbers. Somehow numbers doesn't have plus minus, which is like the easiest symbol to draw. They make label, have money off of the label cartridge, not the machine. Well, yeah, but there are newer ones where you can hook it up to your computer and likely make your own symbols, you know, pixel art your own stuff. There's not really a good stand-in for plus minus. Oh, you guys suck. Dollar sign. Euro thingy. Electrical, you would expect. Put like the weird box on it. A capacitor. That doesn't make any sense. The dot, maybe. Sideways ground. Whatever the fuck. What is that? What are you? You're like a triode. Yeah, it's like a, well, it's like a diode in a box. I mean, that's AC and DC. Oops. Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Delete. Let's go back. Yeah, this is, it lacks in a couple areas, this label maker. These are cool. These electrical symbols look cool, but they are not, like, I don't need micro, I don't need lambda. Yeah, is that right? Suddenly it didn't sound like a real word. 1/2, 3/8 numbers to get creative with the black and white marker. I don't want to put black and white marker on it because that's going to rub off of these labels. The markers that I have don't really, they're not as permanent as I would like them to be, even though the Sharpies are pretty permanent. Just put that in front of it. Like if something represented like a number line and going above and below the number line, maybe. But none of this stuff really, actually, that kind of looks, let's use that. It's probably larger than the other. Oh God, it's huge. Yeah, that's too big because the other labels are +2, +5, and then it would be 5. No, that's not good. That's not a good one. That's not a good one. What else can we use though? I mean, arrows and brackets, if there was an up down, but there's not. That would be too useful. Ground, no. Ohms, no. Box, what? Null, squared. This little guy. This little guy? No. Don't select wire cable. No. Escape. Symbol. I hit the wrong button. That's... What are these? It's like... Why does it show as a completely different symbol? What the hell than what's displayed? Why do you not display the symbol? Yeah, I could cut out the label and then label the label. I mean, I'm not ruling that out. Maybe I'll just use the weird symbol. The one that for some reason looks different when it zooms in on it. That kind of looks like above and below zero. So I'm going to use that. But then it comes in like this. It's going to print like a third way. All right, let's print that. See what we get. Why did it print twice? Why did it do that? I didn't tell it to do that. Maybe because I made it turn into a label flag. Duh. How do I undo that? What the? How do I turn that off? I don't want wire cable. See, now it thinks 2.5 inch. I don't know why these settings keep like, how do I undo that? Oh, general maybe? Yeah, that's what that does. Okay, there we go. That's why I printed twice, because I thought I was making a Cat 5 cable label. That's fine. We can just cut it out once. God, this labeler leaves a little bit to be desired. It's already 4 o'clock. Oh, it's taken me all day to label one of these things. This symbol sucks. We'll keep it. It's what I chose. I made my bed. I'm going to sleep in it. If there was a custom label, that would be really useful. And then I could just make a plus minus. I mean, it's easy enough for me to do with the stupid keypad. There are custom, but I think that's so you can just save stuff that you commonly use. I don't think you can author your own symbol. And I guess you'd probably have to do it for 2 font sizes too. Let's not use the knife to do that, because that just rips the label. So I'm going to be doing this for a while. This is going to take me a bit to get through all these modules. Some of them will require far less labeling than others, though. I need to enunciate, otherwise people can't follow my babbling streamer speak. Oh great, it's right on the seam. Oh, come on. Give me the thing. Give me the backing. Oh, I'm actually scratching the label. Oh, I was on the wrong side. Oops. Okay. Well, you've done well, label. I'm sorry. That one is dead. Good thing I printed too. Plus slash minus, if it wasn't vertically aligned, yeah, that would be exactly what I would need to do. Even just plus and minus next to each other would be the right thing to do. But that would take up too much space. Although I probably could fit plus and minus there. But I'll just know that the hideous symbol over here is a plus minus. Plus, I mean, the point of this label was to have different color numbers so that you'd know which one is which. In which case, all this label is doing is reminding me that there are 3 different settings to this particular LED. That's all it's doing. But I put in a different color LED, a different dual color LED on the thing, so that wouldn't hold up anyway. That's where doing like Sharpie would really work out, because then you could use different color markers. Hopefully I didn't damage that too much. And if I did, maybe the 5 looks even weirder. So really all this is doing is telling me that there's 3 settings to this thing. We put it kind of up here, right? It's a little bit up. Could always dump the firmware ROM, write custom software, modify the existing symbols, then simply replace the ROM with a new one. Yeah, then I would have a lot of different symbols that I'd like to use, because there's particular things that I need for, well, especially for this stuff. Well, so the more modern labelers let you connect your phone to it, and you can customize labels that way, and probably save favorites and do all that stuff. Let's just clean up some of these. I'm noticing little bits of plastic inside some of them. So we did one module today, and it's not even super comprehensive because I need like a line that goes up to rate, and then what are these? These have like symbols next to them, the X and the Y. The X and the Y have like different symbols next to them that sort of show what they do, and so I can't really have that. Although I could do a multiply and divide symbol, but that's the center of this one. What do they call it? Maybe I could just use text. So E. Oh. Coin. Multiplying, divide. Alternate between T1 to T3. So I don't know what to call that. Those are like the quantize method or something. Why is this one so crooked? Why are all these so crooked? Why am I crooked? I don't know if I could get a line to go all the way up to rate. Because like bias goes down to clock. That goes up to rate. This one is a very sort of strange timing-y kind of module. So it does a lot of like really interesting, cool stuff. Here, we can probably do a very thin rate thing. Where's my ruler? There it is. I'll try to make some arrows here. Some connections. Just trying to make a connection, you know? Where are you guys? You guys are over here. Use that to help me make a nice thin line. What the? Don't call me daddy. Don't do that. That's weird. What's up, Fatanon? Thank you for the tier 3. That's very, very nice of you. We've been labeling marbles. Marbles is a pretty big label job. There's a lot of labels that go into marbles. And there's a lot of symbols too. And I don't have the ability to make symbols with this labeler. I think a more modern labeler might be in order for something like this. 66 months of tier 3 Fatanon. Fartanon. Thank you very much, my friend. That's our arrow. Arrowed. And we're going from down here. Order 66 hamburgers for my friends. That works pretty well. It looks kind of like ask, but it's all right. That's our connection to rate. Now I need one straight up to jitter, which is just a very thin connection there. It needs to be smaller than that. So let's get another piece of scrap that'll be the right length here. Jitter. Yeah, the cool way to do this would have been to print the panel in white and then put the vinyl in a vinyl cutter so that I could use that sort of negative space where the vinyl wasn't, because the vinyl knows where it isn't. That's how it knows where it is. Guitar. And it doesn't need to go nearly far down. I don't want to scratch the vinyl. There's our jitter. Deja vu gets one too, but I don't think I'm going to mess with that. Or no, it doesn't. Bias does. Get an arrow down. So we'll just put the rest of this here. I just stabbed my finger with the knife. I was holding the knife in my hand to keep it somewhere, and I just stabbed my finger. Did I draw blood? I felt it. Didn't draw blood. Cool. I don't actually have blood. I'm not weak like you, creature with blood. Let's see if I can do this without scratching the vinyl. I would hate to face the firing squad for suggesting this, but I believe AI, after the right prompting, might be able to create the label. I'm technically not allowed to draw blood. What the fuck are you talking about? AI would make the right label. Listen, it's hard not to shoot the messenger on something that just... What do I do with that? What do I do with that? Thank you for your service. Where's my purple heart? It was because I was holding the knife in a weird way. Dumb. All right, what other arrows do we need? We need more arrows. I'm not going to do that one. Length is... that doesn't need an arrow there. T going into deja vu and this going down with like a little wave symbols. Okay, here's the problem with AI and what you're talking about. If I ask AI, how do I make a custom label for my brother labeler, and I can't, AI is not going to say that I can't. It's always going to be like, well, actually, yeah, of course. And it's going to make up some shit. So, like, just pull up the manual for the labeler and see if you can do it. Like, these are... I just... This... Why do people react the way that they do to AI? It's because it's being shoved into everything. And the times that I've seen it function, it's been useless. It's just been useless. Why would I do... Yeah, it'll just make up something. It's what it does. It's been documented doing that. Is there actually sticker on this? Because this would be great. Might be sticker on it. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to do all of the arrows. I need another one probably for spread. Let's just see. I'm not going to do all of the arrows. It's basically this whole thing is two halves, and Julian has requested if it was possible for me to break up the module into two halves, because he only uses half of it. He doesn't use the other side, which is more of a random engine. But yeah, we need another one of those long boys. We need another long boy. And that's this one here. This is the right length to get all the way to the knob. The knob. Most of this one's already cut out. Actually, I could just fat finger this one. I'm just going to fat finger it. Donk. Okay. Yeah, I mean the real way to make the symbol that I would need in there is to get a different labeler, because other labelers let you, and there might actually be a way that I can customize the symbol on my labeler, but I have not looked into that. I don't know how to do it, so I might as well just move on. It's going to be too much time spent figuring out how to do that. Whereas I can have this weird looking grenade as my 5. Marbles has taken too much time for the labels anyway. And also, you know, even further, what I could do, and the printer labels, the inkjet or laser sticky labels, laser cut sticky labels, those I think might, oh, that's not long enough. Where did I get Big Boy from? I thought Big Boy was this long. Oh, you know what? It's because it didn't, no, that, yeah, it didn't peel out the whole way. Or it's a different, what the? Oh, I guess some of it was missing. You need to be very ultra specific with it to get it to do stuff that you want. Yeah. Let's see if I can move bias up a little bit. Deja vu. I've just been in this place before. Ask me how I know. You have to give very specific guardrails and then watch it be, and then watch to make sure it's doing what it's supposed to, and then call it out on its bullshit. I see. I mean, that just, yeah, because we get people coming in now who want you to use AI for something, and I guess they want to sound smart. I understand it. You want to sound smart. You want to come in and you want to say that I should use AI to design a circuit, and it's like, but I want to design the circuit. Plus, I already know so much about what I'm doing that it wouldn't really make a lot of sense. Like, this is, the way that I'm doing these labels is so Bush League that I love it. It's just fun, and it's funny, and it's a fun thing to do on a Friday afternoon, and so I don't need a robot to do it for me. Managing AI agents is more like being a manager. Yeah, I guess that's why business is so hot on AI, is because the managers can then do what they do while still getting slightly shittier output faster and not paying for it. Not paying underlings, I guess. You're still paying for the AI tokens and whatnot. I don't need it. I don't need it. Spread. 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 Maybe we should start down here. Spread goes to, yeah, spread goes straight to that. Static electricity is holding this thing down. Holding me back. There we go. I was a whole murmur. My brain was like, yes, what do you want? What the? It like migrated downwards when I was, okay. Although having it be totally vertical is fine. I just need it to be a little higher up. Printing this on like a laser printer would probably be the best way. The best way, of course, is the linear bed, what do you call it? Ultraviolet ink tank printer. Because then you can do full color labels. Yeah, because that's a little lacking. It doesn't quite make it to spread, but it's close enough. And as long as I don't brush up against it, it should be okay. And then I need just one more for steps over here. Jitter could go a little higher up. I've just been in this place before. You got to be careful though, because if I peel these off and put them back on and they're too close to a knob, the act of twisting the knob, you might brush up against it. Okay, so we need one more like little tiny length. This will do. Ooh, that's not going to stick on very hard. That sounds lewd. It very well may be. The only real bug in my suggestion, okay, is it definitely would probably take a long time to create a label, in the sense that using the prompts to try to get it to make the label that you have in mind, just have to make the label or do its thing. I don't think AI is applicable to making a label. Come on, just would you? Yeah, maybe I could tell AI to do my job, but this is like nice panel you have here with professional looking labeling. I believe the companies who make, I could just buy this, you know? Panel top in CAD and then print out on a printer and then paste it on top. Listen, the number of things that I've tried in order to make the labels for this synthesizer are astounding. The list is long. It's astoundingly long. I have tried a lot of stuff to create the labels. Now, I am not taking any creative freedoms on this one. I'm literally just printing out the symbols again, which, you know, for divided by 4 plus 1, I could probably make that surround the LED a little bit better. A lot of these are like based on the color of the LED and stuff like that, so that doesn't really pan out. And then there's a lot of other arrows and stuff that I can't make. There are weird symbols, and if I could get into pixel art with the labeler, yeah, I could definitely make that, but I don't need to. You know, I don't know. I don't need to bring AI in for this. Microsoft Publisher, or whatever that is, the layout, Microsoft layout tool, or making a slide in Google. I could even make it in Fusion 360 if I really want to. I could Photoshop it and print it and then use double-sided glue or, you know, spray glue in order to paste it down on top of the module. This is designed to last a little bit better, but this is also just not the label that's there. And by the time I do all of this prompting and stuff, why not just buy the real thing? I'm having fun. This is fun. We're cutting out little vinyl labels from the label printer, and we're sort of butting up against the capabilities of that label printer, and I think we're doing just fine. I think we're doing just fine. I don't know why every single stream I need to fight AI on some kind of a front. Like, every stream it's becoming. Okay, just trying to clean those up a little bit so the module actually goes together, because I'm about to actually put the thing together. Yeah, there's certain things that you can use it for. I don't disagree with that. Those are a tight fit. I don't know why they're such a tight fit. Did I ream those holes out better when I did the real thing? I must have. Because, yeah, those are not going through. Okay, well, do we need to use the repair ream? Writing documentation for codebase. I guess that's interesting. Yeah, if I do that, it kind of messes with the edges there. So I guess I need to go through these again, see if I can open them up a little bit. I don't want to do this to every single one. Did those LEDs fit in? They look like they did. Hold on, let's just see. Maybe I just need to press down on it a little bit more. Because these were the exact files that I used for the panels that are on there. So they all should fit the way that they fit. Yeah, it's just a little tight. What the? I forgot one. Oh no. Hold on. Emergency, emergency. Dive, dive, dive. What is this one? It's associated with length. Okay. Yes, dog freaks out. Motion at front door. News at 11. Okay. Yeah, that is tight. Why is that so tight? I guess the vinyl getting in the way. I guess once I put the screws on, it'll... No, those are all lowered. Okay. So those are there. Cool looking. My Marbleps module. So my whole thing is going to look like that. Ream that hole, Daddy. You just had to go there. You just had to go for it, didn't you? You just had to, you little rascal. This repair ream is a really good thing to get. And it's not just for a good time. Blockchain. Subbing with Prime. My AI agent has access to my Prime sub. Interesting. We're going from a discussion on overuse of AI for everything, and then blockchain subscribes like yesteryear's buzzword. Blockchain used to be the shit. Yeah, the added thickness of the vinyl means I have a little bit fewer threads, a few fewer threads to access for these knobs. I think I still have enough though. These get a washer to be polite and not scratch everything. Thank you so much for the sub, Blockchain. And it's 15 months, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If you don't got the dough, then you owe me, oh. Oh. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is fun. We have our techniques now. I'm only going to be able to get one module done today. The agent said I might learn something here. Learn to hate me, human. Is it that I cut it out differently? They look like they're two sizes. They look like two different size fonts. So this is going to be the rest of my weekend, is wrapping up all of my modules like this. I do wish I was a little better with the knife so I could do rounded edges on these, because that's what my 3D printed labels look like. I put them in little like windows with curved cuts. I could try to find something that would like help me move in that curve and like pull off the front label. It would look a lot cooler, but let's leave that for another day. Learn to live another day. Do 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 da 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 da. All right, let's do these. These I'm not going to use the electric one to put them in. I mean, if these labels were cleaner, these would be very professional looking modules. I do slightly regret not having better control over my appendages for such things, but I'm not going to beat myself up to get this right. Yeah, those scrapbooking things where you can get really nice rounded edges, that might be pretty useful. I have one for making like a ticket shape, and it was the perfect shape for me to use. There's like a surgical dressing that's like this big adhesive clear sheet, and the big adhesive clear surgical dressing is like wide and tall, and it's really good for going over the glucose sensor for a constant glucose monitor. So it holds on your constant glucose monitor, like if you brush it in the shower by accident and it starts coming off. So I got this big stamp, and it's this little stamp, it's the scrapbook like cutter thing. And it was like the perfect shape to go over top of it. So I could rip out a sheet of that Tegaderm and then stamp out a hole in the middle and then place that over top of the glucose monitor thing, and it would hold it in better. But I don't use it anymore because I got a different thing and they fixed the adhesive issues that we were having. And so, yeah, I wonder about something like that for a smaller shape. Do you have a link to it? Just without all the nonsense after the question mark? I don't know. Maybe I just don't use it. It's sort of a vibe that I've got going on. The Slate, and then weirdly blocky cut everything else. These two, I'm going to get out of here, and we're going to unify the bolts that hold this thing together. So where are my thonks? I think they're over there. All of my ThonkyCon connectors, which actually have a Chinese part number. There's an actual Chinese part number for the ThonkyCon connector. Takes me a bit to dig it out, but if anybody needs it, I got it somewhere. I should probably print a label and put it on this with that part number. That would have been smart. But if you buy the direct part number, you have to buy it through the manufacturer, and because I don't think it's on DigiKey. I ought to look, but it was cheaper to get it just through ThonkyCon. So my R tool. Let's see what this is. Bring that over to the main screen. Main screen, turn on. What? Oh, cool. Yeah, I ought to get something like this. How can she slap? That thing is cool. It might not be small enough, although this one might be, for the main label, for the big guy. And it's $8.99. All right, I might pick that up. Because then I can give little rounds on the edges there. It's meant for corners, not for like the whole thing. Because the way I do it, I do like a half radius around. But it would be pretty cool. Be kind of fiddly versus just doing it by hand. But if I did it by hand, all I would see is the mistakes. That's it. That's all I would see. Okay, so the vinyl's behaving underneath the bolts. It's not like curling up or anything. And because I got proper ThonkyCons, I can put just the tiniest little bit of torque into these. Okay, and then, this is going to be the hard part, is getting ones with a dot to be in the right place. Because some of these don't, I don't know, on marbles, they don't really have, they do actually, they do mark center. So actually, we could just, so it goes from there to there. Here, let me do it so you guys can see what I'm doing. I've used it on leather before, but I think that's slowly killing it. Yeah, that would be dimming it, or dulling it. Okay, so that's all the way to one end. Notice it's going that way. Yoink, yoink, and then that's all the way at the other. So this is the center, like that. So now, to get my spread right, which one was I doing? Spread, yeah, it's over here. So to get that right, that goes straight up. Now tell me you really want to... Okay, so that one goes straight up, and then that's how we'll do that. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be good enough for us. Where did my screwdriver... There it is. Julian always comments on this stuff when I get it slightly wrong, or if the knobs are upside down. He'll always make a comment on it. Oh, that needs to be a little taller. So it doesn't feel scrapey. Yeah, there we go. Cool, cool. All right. So take that one to there. Like that. Am I caught in a hit and run? Dun, 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 dun. Gonna be. Are you just having fun? Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, these can no longer go all the way down to the bottom because now they have a layer of vinyl on top of them as well. I guess what I could have done is printed these a little bit thinner. and then the bolt would have gone down a little bit more, sacrificing one layer of integrity, one layer of strength for the knobs to work perfectly. But this is okay still. Or if I left out the washers, that would solve that problem as well. Yeah, that one's not quite out right. I mean, I guess if I use the D-shaped things, but then you're a little bit more limited on your knob types. And these look cool. These look awesome. These aluminum matte black anodized. I need to order another batch of these from AliExpress. Like 50 of them. Yeah, I may get one of those corner punches because that sounds like an awesome idea for the labels. Especially the larger ones. I can make them look that much more professional. I'm not going to redo all the labels though. The first one you do is always going to look a little bit busted, huh? Yep, that works. Oh, this one's going to be tough to do. Because I can't get in there. Well, I guess I could do 45 degrees. What are they doing at the front door? Why? I have this alert on the front door, or motion detected at the front door. And it's just going off a bunch because people like to do stuff outside. These knobs are not going to be perfect. It's like Julian will tell me, he'll say, bother, listen. Synthesizers don't have to be perfectly tuned. They're not supposed to be scientific instruments. You work with however the tune is. And then he'll go, your knob is off by a little bit. I'm like, what the hell, man? Although he was able to get my setup doing some stuff, which was neat. I've got a couple circuit boards that actually might have just come in the mail that are filters. And so with some filtration, we should be able to make some cool stuff. I've got this thing in order to quantize and create like patterns of notes with slight repeatability and variance. I will make up another one of these guys, but this time I'm going to see if I can use one of the Wi-Fi Seed Studio Zhaos, because I think these are mostly the same pinout. So if I can get one of these that'll connect to Wi-Fi, that means I can give you guys control of parts of the module. So that would be a neat little twist. But we now have a method of creating labels and a nice smooth front surface. I think I like it. So it still has a very slight, you can see that crosshatch on it, ever so slightly. The crosshatch of the 3D printer is still evident on it, but I actually think that's cool because it's a very subtle texture. And then I used Slate, which is a little bit matte, but it's got a little bit of a sort of an iridescent shine to it. So that's going to be cool. Off to do 500 more modules in this. I'd like to play with modular synths too, but it's a dangerous rabbit hole. I've seen Sid does all kinds of spare Euro module box, and his spares are even worth even more than my car. Oh God, Sid Heresy does some great stuff. You guys should check out Sid Heresy. I'm just doing my own dinky little setup, but this has taken over a year for me to get to the point where I have enough modules that things can start to happen. I bought a couple extra filters, and so I'll be able to have filters. But what this is bringing to the table right now is that I will be able to look at the module and say, oh yeah, that's what that does, T or X, and I'll know what I'm pressing and plugging into. I'll actually know when I'm plugging into the right stuff. Marbles, of course, I have memorized because this thing has been like the driving engine of a lot of my modular synth stuff. But now at least I kind of know or remember what some of the stuff is. Length probably could have used an arrow going straight down, but you know. What am I hearing? Oh, I'm hearing the... do you design those boards yourself? No, largely. Some of them I do. But this piece of the rack is resting up against the side of the table. So as my leg hits it, it kind of butts up against it. So this one I did design myself, but it is based on a Hajiwo design. So I made the circuit board and I came up with the input and output like circuits that power this thing. The Salon-key filter, I think, is more Hajiwo than my. I think that's a lot of Hajiwo design. But then I took Mutable Instruments designs. She made Marbleps, and so Mutable Instruments made some really brilliant input and output circuits, and so I like to use those in my designs. And I also have taken some of the PCB parts, since all the design files are available online. So I sort of wrapped a bunch of different stuff together in order to make a sort of a digital module that I can create many of and make it my own thing. So at some point, I'm going to figure out about getting an RP2040 into this thing and see if we can get better control of the Salon-key filter. I'm going to have to look up some audio stuff, because the way Hajiwo did it, it's very confusing software. It's not what I want. It's basically making a whole entire table every cycle of the microcontroller, which is insane. He gets away with it because it's a fast microcontroller, but yeah, that's not for me. Anyway, this one's been collecting dust. A lot of the modules that you see on here are circuit boards that I've bought, and then in Fusion 360, I will design the front panel based on eurorack, because the front panel costs extra money and it's super cheap if I can just 3D print them. So our new method here is to 3D print these with the front of the panel down on the bed. That way I've got a nice smoothie surface right here, nice smoothie surface, and that will stick to the vinyl better. And so I can put the vinyl on top of it and give it a designer look, and then put labels on top of that with the label maker. And that gives my modular synthesizer a unique look, and it also allows me to look at the module and go, oh yeah, okay, I do that. Yeah. And then Julian will also be able to do the same. He'll be able to scratch his face and go, huh, and then know what these things do. Okay, so he has good ideas sometimes. Emphasis on the times. I got a lot of work to do. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow. Oops. I don't know if I'm going to be doing a stream tomorrow. I'm going to sit here sweating my ass off in this heat wave, cutting out vinyl for panels. And then at some point, we've got to really go over clouds and make sure that that works. And then I need to finish building my crime and ornamentation module, because I ripped the DAC out of this thing to give to Julian. I have 2 more DACs. They're in a DigiKey box that I haven't opened yet. So we're going to work on that in the future. Here's the end card. This one is set up for Monday. END, it's dynamite. Bonk. There's all my info. So you guys got 3 days, 19 hours, theoretically 3 days, 19 hours and 26 seconds. It's possible that I do go live tomorrow, but if I do go live, I'm probably still going to be doing this stuff. We've got CAN bus to work on. We've got burn the subs to work on. We've got just everything. The pick and place needs a little work. I got the arms printed out and they look like they're going to be the right thing, but I need something inside of there in order to make it so that it doesn't vertically flex. This needs to be very stable on that axis while also remaining light on the other axis, which it is. The skateboard bearings are like perfect. Now, it's not copium. I know I keep saying it, but we are going to work on it. All right. Thank you for joining me. Let's see. We're going to throw you guys at anybody? Twitch TV. Open stories. Kraken. Brava's still going. He's playing Way of the Hunter, though. He's boring. He went from boring dwarf game to boring hunter game. Somehow he's amassed an audience of about 1,000 people who will watch him play the Dwarf Fortress and complain about very Swedish things. Pendleton Ward is doing art. I really want to drop you guys on 10. Chat's top 30 commercials of all time. If Doug was doing something like smart and programmy, I need to raid into Doug, but it looks like he's doing Chat's top 30 commercials, so that's not really all that related to what we do. I I want to catch Doug doing science and tech. Pendleton Ward, if you guys want to check him out, he streams, he doesn't talk. He just plays pleasing music and works on art. In this case, I think he's working on his game. Maybe. It just says art, so I don't know what specifically he's working on, but those would be two directions that you guys could go in, two recommendations from me. Paleontologizing is always a fun stream if you're interested in dinosaurs. You're on Twitch. Of course you're interested in dinosaurs. But yeah, other than that, I don't see anything too incredibly special going on. I guess Summer Games Fest is what everybody's kind of like was geared up towards. How did that go? Nobody knows. I'll find out later. All right. Thank you everybody for joining me. I will be back maybe tomorrow, but more likely I will be back on Tuesday, hopefully with a bunch more synthesizer modules that have sort of a unified look to them. I'm hoping that'll work out. And I'll catch you guys later. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Games Fest is just starting now. I didn't mean to hiccup at that. That was nothing personal. You don't take that personally, the hiccup. The hiccup after I said, oh, it's just starting now, that wasn't related to... All right, anyway. Yeah, check out, I don't know, Rob Oz if you want to watch Games Fest. I'll catch you guys later. Where's it? It's a button. It's a button now, Bother. It's a button. You just hit a button. It's that button right there.